Welcome to another episode of Dollar Dorks. This is episode 20. On this podcast, we aim to share video game buying and selling tips, give suggestions of games to watch out for, provide tips on how to fund your collection with your collection, and hopefully change the perception that some people have of sellers in the video game collecting community. So with me today, we have, as always, Chris, my co-host, CWR2, and our special guest, Bill of STCPod, on for the second time. I am Derek of Two Dorks. Anything going on lately, Chris? Any conventions you've been going to, or big events? Any pickups, garage sales coming down?
I'm going to an event Sunday, or I'm planning on it. I don't know. I'm still on the fence, but I'm supposed to meet up with Curtis. You know, my Hollywood friend. You know, the actor.
That's my friend.
No, that's my friend, the actor, Curtis. We hang out, you know, we go to wrestling events together and have sleepovers, stuff like that. My really good friend, Curtis. But I'm going to, me and him and Matt Bandy supposed to drive down, and we might end up roping in Complex. He's on the fence. So.
What kind of event was it? Like
it's supposed to just be like a swap meet, like a video game swap meet. And, but it's put on by this one Instagram reseller that I follow. You know, there's several ones that go on in the LA area. This one doesn't really have like a name brand to it, but apparently it's free to get in, and you know, they're trying to get it going, see what's going on. He has a booth there. He said if I wanted to split it with him, or I guess it's free. I don't know. I don't know if he wants money or what, but I guess I'll find out when I get there.
They got to get a name for it so people can remember it, right?
I think it has a name.
Just based on the location, could be.
It might have. I think it might have a name. I don't know. I'm not. Let me see. Yeah, it does have a name. Retro Madness Games. So
okay.
And it's presented by Game Tower. So if you want to look them up on Instagram, they're really cool.
I've heard of them before.
They were in a Retro Liberty video recently. I believe they kind of gave what's his name, the completionist, a break on a NES Classic. I think that was the booth they were at.
Okay, I remember that.
Really good guys. Yeah, they're really good guys. You know what I mean? The nicest smelling booth at the convention, because, I don't know, the one guys, they bring their wives with them, and their wives, you know, they take showers, right? So when you're standing there, you're smelling like shampoo and perfume and everything, and then you go to the rest of the convention, and it's, you know, BO and I don't know, nerds.
Yep. I know the smell you speak of.
Yeah.
The Barry Game Exchange used to be like that when it was like in a small room, right? Or like when it was tight. But now that they've opened it up and put it in the hockey rink, I don't find that problem anymore. You're not walking on top of people anymore. You're not getting your toes stepped on. You're not smelling other people's body odors. So yeah.
Unless you vend next to Kevin Verino Mars.
I did not do that. All right. Let's jump into our first.
Were you implying that Kevin smells, or is that?
I thought that was implied.
Okay. Is he one of those last one? Is he like a natural dude who doesn't use deodorant or something?
Yeah, he just rubs maple leaves under his arms.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Sometimes works.
Getting started. So last noteworthy deal, pickup, purchase, sale, anything like that. Start off with Chris. Anything?
Well, I've had several. For the collection, the biggest noteworthy is I picked up Halloween for the Atari 2600. It's kind of one of my holy grails, that and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I actually have a tip that's kind of linked to that too, but I'll save that for the tip section. But that was kind of my fun pickup. But I mean, I hit some bunch of swap meets and yard sales since we last spoke, of course, because I can't stay away. And I've found a couple of really cool items that, you know, it kind of just comes with you know, starting to recognize what's worth something without even looking it up. You get an idea, especially when it comes to electronics. I picked up these drum machines, like a little electronic drum machines. One is the brand is D Drum, so like D, you know, D Drum, but it's all one word. And then the other one is, I think it was Korg. I think that's what it was called.
Okay, Korg is a good brand, yeah.
Right. Well, I kind of remember seeing Korg before. That one looked pretty obvious. Anyways, I rolled up to the vendor's booth and it was sitting there, and I was just like, hey, what are you asking for this? And he's all $10, and I was thinking, 8 sounds better because I already paid 2 to get in the swap meet, so I kind of felt like maybe I could
Save your money
like,
there, yeah.
yeah, I don't know how somehow it just evened out in my mind. So I was like, will you take 8? And he goes, yeah, I'll take 8. And I'm like, all right. And then I looked it up later, and it's it's about $100. It goes between 75 to 125, so it kind of really just depends on my presentation, and I think I could get 100 or more for it. So then I get to the next swap meet, which is, because I usually hit 2 at a time. I'll go to the next one over. You got to hit the one earlier than the other one for whatever reason. It seems like the other one's a little more lazier than the Sunnyside is the one you really have to get there early. And Cherry Auction, you can kind of get there a little later. And especially for, if you want games, you got to get to both of them early. Even though the Cherry Auction is the one where I found that Halo at 1:30, that Halo console at 1:30. So, you can still get lucky. Anyway, so I go to the next one, and then I get to this one lady's booth who I always look for because she must be a storage locker buyer. So she always has just a really good mix of stuff. Not usually a lot of game stuff, but when she does have it, it's cheap. You can usually pick up some cheap items from her, but she always has Polaroid cameras, which are usually $25, $35 a piece. But, I get them from her for $2. I pretty much have gotten it don't matter what she says. If I offer her something, she'll take it every time as, within reason. You know what I mean? If I offer her a quarter, she's going to tell me to fuck off.
She just wants the shit gone then.
Yeah, but I think, she knows that I'm good business for her. So
that's true. Yeah, you'll come back.
I think I've proven that I'm buying shit from her. So anyways, first thing I noticed, she had an Xbox. Just a regular Xbox controller, had everything. So I picked that up, asked her how much she wanted. She's like 15. And usually I kind of like to get them for 10 or less when I can't test them because, it's going to be usually they work. I've had really good success rate with Xboxes. With the original Xbox, I've had a pretty high success rate. Usually if the door don't open, you can do that rubbing alcohol trick on rubber bands or whatever. But anyway, she hit me at the right spot. If she said 20, I would have haggled, but she said 20, I probably wouldn't have been interested. Anyway, so I picked that up. I noticed this
for
guy
15,
had this.
You didn't counter at 10 or anything. You just
not yet because I was still shopping.
That's
I wanted
true.
a bundle. Yeah, I hadn't made my decision to leave her booth yet. I would have countered though. I would have probably hit her with 10.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Because she also followed up with, I don't know if it works. So that's a great
That's an automatic opening for you to come in lower. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the fact is, I do have this rapport with her. So I know I could have got it for 10, but I kind of wanted to see what else she had. I see this guy, he was a little bit ahead of me in the area, and he picked up this red gadget. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, that's something. I could just tell by looking at it. And I'm just thinking to myself, all right, just put it down, buddy. Just put it down. And he put it down, and I don't have any sort of I'm not very cordial or I don't have no decency when it comes
you
to
waited for him to put it down.
Yeah, I almost took it out of his hand, and I almost said, hey, can I see that? But anyway, so I snagged it right up, asked her how much she wanted, and she said 20 on that, and so I looked it up, and it's going for, well, there's only 2 listings right now. One's 200 and one's 175, but it's that D drum, that other drum machine.
The D drum.
Right, so it was like the drum machine day, I guess, the electronic drum machine day. And so I was like, okay, well, will you take, it's like 20, are you firm on that? Or I don't know. No. When I asked her how much she wanted for it, she goes, for everything? And I'm thinking, what do you mean everything? And I looked down, and it had some of the cymbals, because, it's a whole drum kit.
Yeah.
It wasn't complete, but she had 1 cymbal and 2 drums, and the machine, and of course all the plugs and everything that you need for it. So then she said 20. So now I was like, well, will you just take 30 for everything? She's like, yeah. And I probably could have got it a little cheaper, but you know what? I like taking care of her because I knew I was going to make a good amount on it. And then I get home, and it had, it was modded. It had the mod disc in it, and Xbox worked fine. It was all preloaded with all the NES, Super Nintendo, MSX 1 and 2 computers, Master System, Genesis. It was pretty well loaded. So I was like, all right, cool. Good deal. Yeah. So that was kind of like a fun pickup. But I got a lot of other little odds and ends. like a Mario Kart for pretty cheap at another swap meet. And anyway, so that was that for Saturday anyway.
Cool.
What about you, Bill? Pick up anything?
No, who can compete with this guy?
Well, I don't know why he starts me off first. I always feel bad because it's like, it's like, coming, standing up after Dave Chappelle or something. You know what I mean?
No,
Gotta put you
it's
somewhere.
ridiculous.
Let's hear something.
I'm telling you, this guy, he just walks into these sellers who just want to give everything away. It's frustrating to listen to. But then you got me and Derek who have to fight for our deals, so you can listen to us and
Yeah,
empathize with us.
you just, the pro and the amateurs.
Now we got some crap program on TV that just started up. I don't know if you caught this thing. It's called Vintage Tech Hunters. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, no.
And these two dummies go around and buy up. It's mostly video games and like old stuff, and they repair it, so they say, and flip it on the internet for big money. And it's just ridiculous. And they're spending.
Is that just a Canadian show, or
It's shot in the States, but it is airing here on one of our Canadian channels. But I assume it airs somewhere in the States, and they're paying like huge bucks to begin with. What they're saying buy cheap is not buy cheap. There's like a crappy old CRT television they're spending over $100 on because it looks retro. And so now everyone who watches that is just being teased into thinking everything they have in their attic is worth $1 million. I hate it.
That does suck.
Well, the only thing I'll say about that is that I almost look at it as an opportunity, because now you would think the less experienced buyers are going to go to these sellers and they're going to get shot down, where I feel like maybe I can educate them. I can say, hey, let me show you what actual completed sales look like.
True.
And then after about 25 people have already told them no on their price, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I don't like it. Don't get me wrong, but it could work in your favor.
Sure. I don't get the show that.
Pat
guys aren't even
affect the market like everybody was worried about with his $30,000 fucking NWCs on the Pawn Stars.
Yeah. Now these dudes aren't even charming. Like it's not even a pleasure to watch them. You're not rooting for them. It's I don't get it. Anyways, that's just my little TV gripe for now.
Well, if you want a better show to watch, check out Down East Dickering. I checked out I think it's 2 seasons or 3 seasons of that show, and it was funner to watch. Like you said, you're rooting for the guys, and they're doing like bartering, trading, doing work for people to get stuff. It was neat. Not a high quality. Yeah, Down East Dickering. In Maine.
Sounds like
they're in Maine.
Is Dicker? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is Dickering like Canadian for haggling or something?
It's in Maine, and it's haggling.
But that's what Dickering means.
Haggling? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna use that.
You don't have to use that, but if you ever see the show, check it out.
If I ever say Dickering, do you know I've been hit in the fucking head or something?
Yeah, no, that's a very common phrase here. Yeah.
Dickering.
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it, but like
never fucking heard of that. And if anybody ever tells me, if anybody comes up to me and says they want to dicker with me, they might get punched in the mouth. I would not. Now I won't. But prior to that, I'd be like, fuck away, sexual predator.
What are you talking about?
That is a very aggressive reaction to that term, but
dickering. How often do you and Joe dicker?
All the time. They bicker too. All right. Anyway, that if you're looking for a decent show, it's not crazy good, but it feels a little less fake. Anyway, moving on. So, me, I guess, or no, you didn't even really finish, did you, Bill?
No, I was going to see you were going to skip over me again.
Yeah, well, you had your time, you just didn't fill it.
Well, no,
you got Chris talking.
You skipped over me the what's new section, so I had to cram in the TV show in my what I bought section. So
the what's new is like just Chris wants to talk, so that's Chris's section.
That's my section.
Well, as you know,
a
new auction has started in my area, live auction where you go and sit down. So I've done that for a couple of weeks. I got another one coming this Saturday. I'm going to check it out again. Although much like we're used to in our area, things get bid up way high, even beyond retail. Last time I was there, there was Xbox One controllers that they bid up to around $75. And I looked on my phone and they were on sale at Amazon, brand new for 50. Yet they bid up these open box ones for 75. It blew my mind away. I couldn't believe it. However, at that same auction, I did throw a bid. I didn't want to spend this much, but they had a new 3DS, the SNES version of it. That went up for auction, and he started it by talking shit about it, really. He was like, here it is. It's open box. Everything's fine. It's all good. It's brand new. But Nintendo rips you off. They rip you off, people. There's no power cord in here. So don't open it and come back to me looking for a power cord. There's no power cord. And we'll start the bidding right now. So people were
covering his ass, but also shit talking.
Yeah. So people were kind of, I don't know. They weren't willing to go all the way on it. I ended
That's
up,
okay.
it got up to 100, and that's where I was going to stop. And that was my final bid, was 100. And I did win it for 100. You know, they go for double that new or more. So I thought that was okay. Inside, it was missing its AR cards, and it was missing, there was a download code or something for a Super Nintendo game that was missing. But otherwise, the console was brand new. So I'm still happy with that. And that I will end up keeping. I was really on the fence about selling it because that would have probably been easy to sell. But I have personally been looking for a new 3DS for a long time because I have the original 3DS, the OG one that is very tiny screen and doesn't have the extra stick thing or the extra buttons or the amiibo support.
Amiibo.
Yeah. So this is for, $100. Yeah, sure. Well, it was $100 plus your buyer's premium plus tax, so plus 23%. And then the last good thing I got was at Value Village, in the glass, in the showcase, as it were.
Yep.
There was this giant. I've been picking up these Mad Magazine like compendium books. It seems I've just been falling in my lap, and this was a huge, like in a hard slip case thing. It has two massive coffee table books inside of it, and it was all the collected works of Don Martin, and they had $30 on it, but I had a 30% off card, and just seeing the quality of it, like I kind of just knew that'd be worth something. I didn't know really if anyone would be interested to buy it, but I knew it had value, and maybe I would even keep it because I am building just randomly a weird Mad Magazine collection. So anyways, I got it. I used my 30% off card, so that took it down to just over $20. And then I brought into work.
Is there a particular, I'm sorry, on the Mads, is there a particular years you're looking for, or are you just all over the place?
No, these are just like when they put out a hardcover.
Right, but I mean, you don't so you don't go for the actual magazines, just
no
compilations.
No, I don't want to. Don't start me down that trail.
Oh, because I come across it all the time.
I bet. I do not want any more magazines.
Work out some sort of trade. You give me a syrup or something.
Hey, we got good maple syrup.
So I brought into work to show Joe, and we looked it up online, and it carries a good dollar value return for eBay. But this thing weighed so much; it was so freaking heavy. I'm like, I don't want to ship this thing. It's gonna get destroyed. I don't even know how much the shipping cost is gonna be. I'm like asking Joe what he thinks it weighs. So he's like bodybuilder barbell posing. I know weights, so he's like lifting it up, gauging the weight. That's 30 pounds right there. 30 pounds. Like 30 pounds. That sounds like a lot. That's like 3 bags of potatoes. That seems really heavy. Yeah, I'm thinking more like 20, 2 bags of potatoes. Nope, that's 30. Anyways, we decide I am going to put it up. So I get the ad ready, and I take it to, I found an awesome box that had this foam square cutout already like cut out that the book fit perfectly into. So that went in there, and then it went into a box and packing supplies all around the outside of that, so it wouldn't move from the center, and taped this thing up. It was like worked out perfectly. So I took that and got it weighed. Did not weigh 30 pounds. Did not weigh 20 pounds. It was 13 pounds.
I was going to say 12.
And so I put it up on eBay that morning, and it sold like rather immediately while I was sleeping. So that was a good flip for not doing.
And you guys don't have any form of media mail, right? Is that?
No.
I believe you told. Oh man, over here we can send books for like $3. You can 50 pounds of books for like $3-4.
Yeah, we wish.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, and of course, there's always.
If I send a book, it's going to be $12 to $15, right?
No. I mean, sometimes when I or like maybe I didn't estimate the weight right. Send anything media mail. You roll the dice, they probably open one out of 50 packages or some shit. So far, knock on wood, I've been good. But I kind of fucked up on this ColecoVision roller controller. I sold it like $20 plus shipping, and the guy, he paid like $14 shipping or something, right? Well, I don't know. I guess I was off on the weight, and it was gonna be like $19 shipping. I'm like, fuck that, So I was like, I just shipped it media mail. Messaged him, told him, hey, look, I told him it was an accident. I was like, oh, I accidentally sent it out the wrong one, but let me refund you the difference, because I'd rather had refunded them the difference than paid the more.
Yeah.
Instead, I gave him back like $7 instead of giving eBay a fucking 19. You know what I mean? So it was like, it still worked out. Ended up, the math was in my favor, but yeah, he got it. So you get lucky. But there is like some sort of, like video games all for us anyways, they all fall under media mail. They'll try to tell you it don't at the post office. They'll say, no, that's software. But what the fuck are video games? They're software. You know what I mean? So really, any video game, any CD, anything like that. But I've had a buddy in LA telling me that he has horror stories where he'll buy like, movies. Any movies are supposed to be covered under that. But he ordered some laser discs, and I guess the stamp postal worker shows up at his door saying, you owe us $20 with his package all open. And he's like, no, I don't. That falls under media mail. And she goes, nope, it says laser disc on it. We only does DVDs. It's like, it's fucking all the same medium. It's just a different vessel. He's like, no. And VHS, all that shit falls under it. And he said I had to send it back. I was like, I ain't paying that shit.
Wow.
So yeah, I was like, man, that's a bold, trying to shake you down. Like I don't know how I would have reacted in that situation. I might say, oh, let me see that for a second. Hold on, and I would have just shut the door.
We would have said, I think we owe you more because shipping is way expensive.
Yeah,
right.
That thing ended up.
Exactly.
I can't even imagine shipping a Laserdisc in Canada. The size of that, you're gonna be paying through the fucking nose.
Yeah, media mail, $3.
Yeah, I know.
So this thing, it went to Calgary, and it cost $30 in shipping to go to Calgary.
That's not so bad though. I mean, I'm not saying that's good, but for a 15, would you say? Well, 14,
13 pound. Yeah.
That's not too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot higher, but then again, the inflation rate, you guys, a little harder for you to make that, right? $30. What do you make, about $9 American an hour or something?
How many minutes into the show before our first Canadian currency joke?
I don't think, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
I don't think we want to talk incomes.
Oh no, I'm sure you got more than me. Yeah, I told Derek something similar yesterday, or something pretty serious yesterday, and his response was America. So the jokes come back, they go both ways. So I don't want to hear it.
That bastard, Derek.
Yeah, I wasn't just typing what Bill said. Bill and I were live on a call waiting for you at that moment.
Sorry, man. I couldn't get out
That's
of it.
fine. No, I don't mean that. I mean, I was dictating. I was writing down what Bill said.
I got it. So it was Bill with the one. Bill.
But I'm the one who repeated it. So.
Well, okay. So my anger wasn't. I wasn't really angry. I was just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, if you really knew what happened right now. But
I can't believe that even happened. Anyway, let's not get onto that.
Yeah. No, but hey, your side note, because Derek loves these. Your Joe impression is phenomenal. I love it when you do the Joe voice. Like, you should do an episode where you just do the voice the whole episode. I'm not even joking.
Himself? Talking to himself? Him talking
No.
to Joe.
Joe talking to Joe.
What about Joe? Bill's Joe talking to Joe's Bill.
Bill, yes. Now you know what? That's next level right there. That would be great.
Well, I never think that impression. It actually sounds like him. It's more like a character.
What it sounds like. That's not even the point. Like, that's fucking awesome.
All right. Did you get anything else, Bill?
Well, I did stop in there today. My kid was at her volleyball practice, so while she's doing that, I ran back down to take another look. Lots of garbage, not much going on. But two things I picked up, someone else had picked up clearly and moved it and then changed their mind on it because they were in the wrong sections. And one was this thing. It's like normally this would be not something I'd bother getting, a piece of shit, point and shoot film camera, but it's a Nikon. And so I looked that puppy up, and it's actually worth some good money right there, even though you think if it's not an SLR, it wouldn't be worth anything. But it's got the Nikon name, so that'll do it. I grabbed that, and there was a manager special at the cash register. It was $3.99. And also...
Hold on, you got to explain manager special.
I negotiated with the manager. And then also, this was set aside somewhere, an Android box, which I've had some success in selling. That'll be a story for later. And someone had went through the hassle of finding the right power adapter in all of the wire section and attached it to it for me.
That's convenient.
They left a price tag on it, but I quickly snapped that off and left it attached to the Android box, which they priced at $4.99. And it's a 4K one. My luck, it probably has the old firmware that doesn't work with Kodi anymore, but people still buy them just to use as streaming devices. So
if it's Android, have you tried, what's it called? Damn it, this app. Shit. Now I'm gonna Terrarium. Terrarium. Check it out, install it.
I thought that shut down.
The website for it shut down, but there's a new one. And it's the same app. And it works. Check it out. Just Google it again.
No, everyone should be paying their cable bills and satellite bills and buying television.
Yes, this is only to stream things you already own.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
All right. Moving on. For me, the only thing I've really worth noting is I finally sold, or not finally, it's only been like a month, I think, but I sold that monster cable original Xbox component cable for 55 Canadian. I took an offer and sold it. And the guy was in a hurry to get it, and he was excited, and he paid for express post shipping. All good. He's happy. I'm happy. Well, he hasn't sent me feedback yet, but he got it. And I'm happy to have that finally sold.
Feedback's good feedback.
That's true. I was using that cable on my Xbox, but the last time I redid my whole entertainment system, I just put in the original, like an official Microsoft component cable because I had one here, and the monster cable sells for more money, so why not? Now the monster cable was selling for $70 or $80 at the time that I listed it, but I was happy to get 55 because it was just fucking sitting here anyway. Yeah. So next section is what are you selling? Tell us something you have for sale on eBay, Kijiji, local classifieds, swap meets, anything. Starting with Bill.
Well, I got lots of crap for sale on eBay, but what I want to concentrate on, I got a trunk full of consoles that I want to get rid of, and I've put them up locally on our Let Go app. And I just immediately want to blow my brains out after I launch an ad on Let Go, because it's the next day is just streams of I'm interested. And I say, come pick it up. No answer. It's just relentless. So the last bunch I haven't even answered because I can't deal with people anymore. I just can't deal with them. Let Go just made it too easy for people to hit that I'm interested button. And they're clearly not interested. Or
Facebook's done the same thing. Facebook's got
you know what else I've noticed with the Let Go app and that I'm interested button? It is very easy to accidentally hit it.
I agree.
when you're
I've
scrolling,
accidentally hit it
'cause-
twice.
Yeah, and then I feel like shit because they're immediately like, yeah, I still have it. Like, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not interested in that shit. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yes.
I've
It
had to
is
tell
very
multiple people, but I hit
temperamental.
it by mistake.
Yeah, it's really shitty. They need to fix that.
They're not going to.
Well, no,
They want it. They want
yeah,
it.
they
want
want the
dialogue going.
interaction, but goddamn, it's not making any more business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a couple of Wii's in there. I got a PlayStation 3 Slim, an Xbox 360 Slim, an Ridge Xbox 360, and they're all ready to go. But you know what? I might just take them somewhere to liquidate them. Say
That's what I was going to ask. Have you tried taking them to a store? Just get as much as you can for them.
I've put out feelers in a couple stores I've been into, and like no one gives very much for them. So it would be quite a hit. But I have like next to nothing invested in.
That's what I'm thinking. If you haven't invested much, then maybe worth just get rid of them.
But it's a shame
Maybe
like that.
Wait until after Christmas.
That PlayStation 3, it's got a 250 gig hard drive in it. You know, why don't people want that?
How much you got it listed for?
That's only like $60.
Oh.
60
You got good
or
pictures? Good
Oh,
pictures?
pictures. What pictures? It's a console. One
There's
picture.
your problem. People want to see
No.
it's nice and clean.
Let go. It is. It's let go assholes don't deserve anything more.
And I guess you don't deserve their money.
Oh, I'm so fed up with that app. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but Kijiji, not just let go, but
Yeah,
like
no.
Kijiji,
I'm sick of dealing with people. Yeah,
go to a
with eBay.
store and get less money. That's the only
Yeah.
option. My problem is similar. I just don't have time to post everything. So I'm taking a bunch of shit into stores. I'll just build up credit and get something I want.
Mm-hmm. Or there's next year's Berry Game Exchange.
Yeah, I know. It's just a huge time sink to sell at one of those. And I get to socialize less if I do that. You know what I mean?
You think? I love the selling atmosphere. I find there's more socialization going on.
No, I was
People
like
are coming out to hang out, you know?
the last time I sold it, I just felt like I was tending to the table the whole time.
Oh,
I
well.
didn't even go get food. My wife went and got food one time. I left the table twice to film, and that was it.
You were hyper focused. That's the problem.
I was busy. It was good, but I was busy.
Just got relaxed and have fun.
And the consoles don't sell great there either.
No, they don't.
I sold a GameCube at one, and I sold modded Xboxes, but I had guys who wanted original Xboxes because they wanted to mod it themselves.
Well,
Like,
you
sorry,
should have sent them
unmodded
to my
ones.
table.
That was the one a while ago. I'm sure he would have gone past your table. Not the last one, but the one before that, I think. I don't know.
So that's it. Yeah, tons of stuff on eBay.
Or your price was too high for him. Anyway, he wanted them cheap because he wanted to mod them and resell them. So it's not the clientele we want anyway. Yeah. Consoles, get rid of them at stores, I guess. See what you can get. Have you tried calling around the stores and see which one will give you the best price for them?
No,
dealers were. Or?
Just when I happen to be in one, I'll ask, "What are you guys looking? You guys looking for consoles or what?" And, you know.
Did they ever tell you no?
Say again?
Did they ever say no? Like no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like a lot of them won't take Wii's anymore. They're not taking that original style of 360. But they will take PlayStation 3s. They'll take the 360 Slim. But yeah.
How is you ever get trade offers through your Let Go app? Because I get tons of those. You ever like put it up for like this price or trade and then trade up or trade to something that's more easier to sell?
No.
Yeah.
I find that was good. That was good in Toronto, like the Buns app that Miles was using, because there was just enough people to have those kind of options. But in my area, and I'm guessing in Bill's area, there's just not enough people who want to trade.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty concentrated area, so
yeah.
Well, I do place my ads when I go to work because that's in a metro area.
Yeah, that's true. You
So
can say that.
Let Go drops the pin right there. And
you're only going to be, but your hours are when some people are at home. So I guess that's not, I was going to say that would screw me over if I was doing it around work, but
yeah, I can.
You have that convenience of time.
All around. Yeah.
Well.
The best way to do things is when you're at work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So me next. Not really something I'm selling, but an interesting thing anyway. I saw an ad for an Xbox One X with Connect. I thought, ooh, Xbox One Connect adapter. So I messaged the guy and asked if he had the adapter and if he was willing to sell it separately. He said only with the Connect. So I messaged QDog and said, hey, are you interested in this? And he said, yes, he would. Told me how much he wanted to pay. And so I picked up the Connect and the adapter, and I'm going to try and sell off the Connect itself. And he's going to take the adapter next time I see him, or he'll pay for shipping, depending on how long it takes to sell off the Connect. But hopefully we'll get him an adapter. So it's sitting here. I need to take pictures and list that Connect, though. I don't know how much it's going to go for, because I see one Connect posted about, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes away from here in a small town for $25. And then I seen the other one closer to me for like 55. So somewhere in that range, I guess, maybe lower. So
Eric's got to come to Canada to get that. That's the stipulation.
We'll see. Once he sees the shipping cost, yeah, he'll say that. So that's cool. Chris, you're up. What do you got for sale?
Well, I have two other purchases I did recently that paid off really well. I bought I saw a Craigslist or Let Go app or Let Go ad for I typed in Coleco because I was thinking, I wonder if there'll be any ColecoVisions in it. It's a little Donkey Kong Jr. Coleco arcade machine, like one of the ones from the 80s.
Yeah.
So when I hit the guy up, he wanted I think he was asking 120 in the ad, which still had a lot of room for profit. And as I was talking to him, he tells me he had a Dracula one as well, which those I already had one, but I figured, well, I'll take it all. And so I offered him 120 for all of it, or 140 for all of it, and he said yes, which he said yes so fast I felt like maybe I could have got it a little cheaper, but anyways, picked it up, brought it home, listed it, sold it for 200 plus shipping. Now I still have the Dracula sitting on eBay, but I got a lot of watchers, a lot of views. I mean, it'll sell. It's just not as, it's not as desired as the Nintendo based ones. But the thing that I really hit jackpot on, so I ended up in this one neighborhood, and it's kind of funny because it's almost like 2 weeks in a row where I've had some weird hunch, but was kind of doubting it the whole way. So there's this one neighborhood. Well, it wasn't a Duke. Yeah, that one was another one. But this one, so I'm driving through past this neighborhood, and I've never ever gone into this neighborhood and got anything. It's always garbage. It's a bunch of signs that go nowhere, or they're closed yard sales, or fucking shitty baby furniture. It's just crap, right? But it was at that time of day where it's like, well, I might as well, because all like the real good shit's probably, anything else is still going to be in the house. So I'm going to coax it out anyway. So I decide to follow. I get to this intersection, right? There's a sign that goes left and a sign that goes right. Well, one that goes straight and one that goes right. And so I decided to go right, instantly regretted it because I couldn't see anything up ahead. And I did notice a little tiny sign pointing left at the next intersection. So, okay, well, maybe it is picking up. Nothing on that street. I'm driving down it, like kind of bitching about it. Like I fucking knew it was going to be a dead end. Get to the end of the block and I go, oh, there's the yard sale. It's a pretty substantial size yard sale. So as I'm pulling up to it, I see like a bunch of cards and shit, right? Sports cards. But I'm not into that because it's kind of a dead market. I mean, you can score with sports cards, but man, you're going to waste more time than anything unless you really know what you're looking for. But I noticed all these hats, right? And more specifically, corduroy hats. Now, I don't know if they were ever a thing in Canada, but in America, around
Definitely were.
87, 88, 89, that time they were very stylish, very popular, especially the sports team hats. But it was pretty much corduroy was every fucking hat. Like, there was no, they replaced trucker hats and, your basic hats, kind of like what Bill's wearing right now. You know what I mean? Like those kind of hats started becoming out of style. But these corduroy hats were on fire, right? Well, I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, that's fucking money right there. So as I walk up, and I start to, and they're like in really good shape. So hey, what's going on? I'm trying to play it off a little bit. Walk over to the hat, pick them up. How much you asking on this hat? It was all NBA, Lakers, Golden State Warriors. There was even a Seattle Supersonics, which I knew that one was going to be worth something because there is no more Supersonics anymore. They moved. Now they're the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it's a defunct franchise. Anyway, oh yeah, $5 a piece. Oh, okay, I'll take $4. And I didn't even say anything. I was like, all right. I mean, he went from 5 to 4 in the same breath. I'm like, man, if I stay here any longer, he's gonna pay me to take them. So I start looking at them. I'm like, yeah. And I start looking around the yard sale, see what else is there. I found like a phone, like a collectible clear phone from the 80s. I figured, oh, that's probably worth about $20-$30. Picked that up, looked around, found a bobblehead. Anyway, so I get back to the hats. So I had looked up the Laker hat, and I saw that it sold for $30. So I was like, well, I'm just going to buy them all. I mean, I kind of talked myself into it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take the Lakers hat. Oh, I'll take the – you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take them all. So I just, like, started – and he breaks out this box. He's happy. He feels like he's got a sucker on the line, right? He sticks it down. How many hats are there? And I thought I counted 10. It turned out there was 11, but, I mean, I didn't intentionally scam the dude. But I said 10, so he's just like, all right, $40. And I'm like – hey, we throw in this phone, and man, I'd never seen a bitter-looking motherfucker ever. Like, he looks so pissed. He goes, yeah, well, but then the box will be $4. Like, hey, I don't need the box. I'll just carry it. And then he's like, I'll just take the box. And I'm like, all right. So I gave him this $40 and scooped up all the shit. I think I gave him like $2 for the bobblehead. So I put the shit away, and I noticed there was a yard sale next door. So I walk over to that one, and it's like a Hispanic family. So I walked over to the lady, and I was about to ask her about the video game. Yeah, you got any games and shit? Well, I didn't realize, but the guy from the guy who I just bought all the hats from, he had followed me over there. I don't think he followed me over there. He just happened to go over there. They were both having a yard sale. So he goes to the gentleman there, and he tells him, yeah, man, I sold those hats. He's like, all of them? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, how much? He goes, $40. Can you believe it? He bought them all. Like I'm a rube, right? He felt like he had to rube on them. You know what I mean? Like, can you believe this fucking idiot bought all these hats? So I'm like right behind. I was like, hey, before you insult me, I just want you to know I'm standing right behind you. And he's like, oh, all nervous and shit. Anyways, man, I made it. I've sold that Sonic hat sold for $75. The Lakers hat's $40 a piece. The Warriors hat $40. I mean, man, I had them all sold except for 3 within like a few hours, and it's just like. But anyway, so I got 3 left. So if anybody's interested in a Atlanta Hawks or a Miami Heat or I don't know, whatever the other one is, go ahead, hit up my eBay store. But all I could think is like, man, if you only knew what you just sold me, asshole. But he thought I was the biggest sucker on the planet,
I'm guessing it was because it was sports teams that they were most. The value, that was the value, let alone the time frame. But if it was like just generic hats or something like that in that style, I don't know if it would have.
Yeah, no, sold. It's really about the fact that it's officially licensed NBA hats. It's vintage NBA. And he, as I was talking to him, I kind of forgot that part, but he had said that he used to have a sports apparel shop, right?
Oh.
So this was his old new stock. So I'm thinking about trying to go back and hit him back up to see if he has more.
What else you got?
I'll buy every damn hat he has.
I love those hats. I wear them all the time. You got any more?
Yeah, I gave them out to all my family members. Everybody loves them. But yeah, man, he thought he had the biggest. And then it's funny though, listening to him kind of like mock me a little bit. I figured like, fuck, I probably could have got it for like $30. You know what I mean, or 25. But whatever. Anyway.
I have heard good things about trucker hats too, the older style with the clear mesh. And I almost bought a lot of them, like a huge box of like 50, 70 of them. And I held myself off from doing it because I just don't know enough about them.
Well, my buddy, he scored a bunch of old vintage Chuck E. Cheese trucker hats from the 80s. And he was selling for like $75 a piece.
So the ones I saw were all oil companies, I think.
Man, that's hot. Like gas, oil companies, beer companies, obviously, or like John Deere. That's another one you want to look out for. If you find like an 80s John Deere hat, you're looking at probably a $50 bill at least.
I'm looking at some now on Kijiji because I'm like, there's some train ones. There's some, the hell is this? Beer hats, Coors Light, and
Well,
Alaska.
even like here, I would go for like a PG&E or a McDonald's, any of that kind of shit, because every major company would give their employees those style hats because that's what was out then.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost bought it. I didn't. I think I should have, but then who knows? I probably wouldn't have just sat on them like I do with everything else that I have.
There's a
All right. Our next section is the tip corner. Buying, selling tips or ideas to share or anything you find annoying, where to find a deal, stuff like that. From me. So this is going to lead into my story later on, but inspect what you're buying. Think about the problems that there could be with it and check for that kind of stuff. If the deal sucks once you see the product, walk away or offer a lower price that you're comfortable with. The deal's not done until the money changes hands. I mean, you might feel bad meeting up with someone and walking away, but pictures don't show you everything. When you see it in hand, you get a better feel for, how rough it's been treated, or discs are scratched, or, stickers on the back of it because they didn't take pictures of the back, or if it's just fucking broken, which we'll get into later. All right, Chris.
This one kind of call back to my eBay purchase on the Halloween game. Whenever you're in an auction, well, first off, I would say don't bid. Just don't bid. Don't bid to the very end, because all you're doing is feeding the beast. I see these idiots, they bid the game up so high, so quick, and it's so 5-6 days left, and all that's doing is up in the ante. And then also, it's also feeding shill bidders. So, like, let's say the guy has a shill bidder going on. All it takes is that guy to shill bid, every third or fourth bid, and it's going to constantly, kick into that, fear of missing out shit that people have. So don't bid. Wait till the end. Just have some discipline and wait to the very end. Have it on watch. Set a reminder on your phone. Whatever you got to do, just don't bid. Wait to the very end and just come in at your very, very highest bid, whatever that is. If whatever your top dollar is, do it at the very last second, because that's how you win. If you or at least that's how you win for the price that you want. Because if you do it any earlier, all you're doing is just setting yourself up for disappointment. And the second part of that
emotional
tip,
bidding, you're setting yourself up for
emotional
exactly bid too.
Yeah, because now you're competing. Now you're angry, or now you don't want to get beat. You're gonna win, and then you like, oh, well, you get into that. Well, it's only $3 more. I was already gonna do 150. Well, what's 153? When really 150 was actually your top. Because I'm guilty of that. I'll just say, well, I was already gonna do 150. Am I gonna let $3 stop me? And now I'm at 153. Am I gonna let $3 more stop me? And you forget you've actually let $20 occur because you really wanted to pay 125 or whatever, or 130, and now you just keep adding to it. So just wait till the end, or look for a buy it now and try to negotiate with the seller. Or another good strategy would be, if there hasn't been any bids on it, instead of even opening the bid, just message the buyer or the seller and say, hey, will you take this? Because a lot of times they don't know if anybody's going to bid on it. And if the auction's been open for a day or two, now they're starting to feel like, oh, nobody wants this shit. You know what I mean? So you might be able to undercut them, which ended up happening because the game, I talked myself into, like, my emotion was, or my logic was, okay, the last one sold for 165. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm willing to go 180 because it was all free money. I didn't care. I was figuring I'm playing with house money. And then, well, once the auction started winding down, I talked myself into 200. Well, I got outbid for 203. And then I was actually kind of happy about it. I was like, yeah, I really didn't want to pay 200.
Yeah.
So I noticed that about 20 minutes later, I decided to just research the same game again. Not research, but search it again.
Yep.
And I noticed he relisted it. So I immediately messaged him, but he relisted at the auction starting at 200 now. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, what was the deal? And he goes, yeah, the guy had instant buyer's remorse. So I was like, oh, he did, huh? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, well, tell you what, I have no remorse at all, and I'll buy it right now at 175, because that was actually my top mark. I felt it's averaging 165 with the Halloween movie out right now. $10 tax on that. Makes a lot of sense to me. I'll pay you that. And he goes, okay. And then I just wrapped it up. Now, a day later, another one gets set up for auction. And you know what that one ended at? $305.
Oh my God.
So, you know what I mean? Another case of people just fucking the market up. I feel really bad for anybody who wants to buy that game now because it's going to take a while for it to rebound. Because now, you know, it's gone from 165 to 175. Yeah. Plus, they're going to see the completed sell at 203, which actually he didn't get paid for, but most people don't realize the different color, green and the red. So they're going to see a completed sell for 203, and then the next one on top of that's going to be 305. So you're going to see, and that's another reason why I don't give two fucks about price charting, because price charting will use all those damn things, and they'll show it trending up, when in reality, the 203 is a fraudulent sell. It never happened, but they don't take that out of their algorithm. That just goes in there as a completed sell. At least I'm wrong. Unless I'm wrong, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. When people start hitting you with this, well, you know, price charting says this. I was like, really? Okay. Well, I can do my own search, and I can see that it actually didn't sell for that. But anyway, those are my tips.
Cool. All right. So that brings us to Bill. Bill?
Yeah. Tips.
You got any tips?
Sure, I got lots of tips. Lots of tips. They're probably all stuff you guys have talked about before, because this is the place I get all my tips that I live by. But I'll rehash them a bit here. First of all, this just happened this weekend. eBay put a promotion on for sellers. Keep an eye out for those. They offered 5 free listings, or not free, it was $1 final value fee on 5 listings. And I saw that with like 3 hours left to the deadline, and I just hit that keyboard hard and got all 5 of those up. One of those was that book I told you about that sold. So I made $50 on that and only had to pay $1 final value fee. So that was cool. The other tips I have are for on both sides, for buyers and sellers. For sellers, and I think, Chris, you've said this before, it's not a bad thing to stick to your guns if you know the market. When someone comes and asks you for a better price, this happened to me. A guy asked for a better price on a, I don't know what it was, a Guitar Hero guitar or something. And so I was about to lower it, and this had been listed for a while, so I had been lowering it anyways myself for a few months. And now I'm at where I feel it shouldn't be any lower here, guys. This is already a great deal. So I said no to him, and I looked it up, and I said, look, I am still the cheapest price on all of eBay for this. We're both in Canada, so you're not going to have to deal with the customs global shipping bullshit if you buy from the States. So unfortunately, we have to leave it at this price. And right after I hit the send button, ka-ching went off. He went and bought it. And that's happened a couple times. Like, of course, be reasonable. If you have $5 you can knock off of it, sure. But if you know you're already doing better than anyone else on eBay, just stick to your guns. It'll sell. And on the other side, for buyers, if you're a buyer and listening, can you stop hassling us sellers? Just give us a break. Give us a break. I've had a couple occasions where you got the guys emailing you, the potential buyers, and they're trying to get a better price or trying to get better shipping. This has been multiple times where they ask for better shipping, and I'm in Canada. I don't charge extra for shipping. It's just crazy shipping. And I say, it's Canada Post. I can't. This one guy, he hassled me for a better shipping price. It was for a cassette, like a tape, like like a cassette tape we used to listen to in Walkmans. And my shipping on it to wherever he was, it was tracked because I have it. I remember from when I used to listen to cassettes all the time, carry them around my Walkman, throw them in the book bag. The cases get destroyed very easily with cassettes, right? They're very brittle, the plastic.
Yeah.
So I found a beautiful, tremendously beautiful plastic case to put it in for shipping, and I had it all wrapped up, had it ready to go. Well, this is it over here. Custom fabricated plastic case, which perfectly holds. Look, it's even got a locking spine thing on there. There's the tape. And he said, look just throw it in letter mail and it'll be fine. I said, well,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I said, I feel it will get damaged in letter mail. Plus it is too thick, especially with the plastic case I have it in.
Yep.
He's like, no, I don't mind. Throw it in letter mail and it'll be fine. And then I wrote back and said, if I do that, you have to accept all responsibility of damage and everything else. And he said,
stand by that though.
He said, look, I work for Canada Post. I
Oh
work
my
in the
gosh.
sorting. I understand how letter mail works. It doesn't go with the other stuff. It gets sorted differently, blah, 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 blah. I'll accept whatever. I just want it. I want the cheap shipping. Okay, yeah, reasonable. So I find this in my inventory, unwrap it. It was all neatly wrapped. I take it out of the cassette thing. I go find an envelope, find an envelope to put it in, get an envelope, about to seal the envelope. And then he writes me back. At least he wrote me back. I'll give him this. He wrote me back with, you know what? I changed my mind on that. I don't need it that bad. Thanks anyways.
Oh my God.
Fucking asshole.
Like, what? So, just come on, quit hassling us buyers. I had another guy, same thing from the States. He wanted this antique calculator I have, and the price went down and down and down. And he explained his whole history, how he used to be a technician at with these calculators and all that. We had quite a back and forth, like learning about the history and everything of all this. And finally I went, sir, I might lose money on this, but I'm happy to see this go back to you. Hopefully you can get it working, and I'm happy to see this item live on in history. And I sent that off to him, and then he wrote back and said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to pass on that. That was after like 10, 12 emails back and forth and me dropping the price.
He just needed you to hear his story.
So yeah, buyers, leave us alone. Just hit buy. Christ. So
wow,
that's my tips. Yeah, if that's a tip, leave us alone.
That's a tip. That's a good tip.
I have not had that yet. The biggest thing I've had was with that monster cable. The guy's like, I want it as soon as possible. That's the biggest story I've heard.
I have been bad about that with the Sears Wish books, because I was trying to track down 1984, 1993, and I kept haggling with this one guy on 84, and I'm just like, well, look, like this one went for this, and this one he goes, but this and this, and we were kind of going back and forth, and eventually he saw the light and came to the dark side and sold
sick
me
of
what I
you.
wanted. Yes, but I do admit I was being annoying. But then, so I'm looking for 1993, and all these idiots have 1992 listed as 1993. And it's not just one, it's like 6. But I can't find 1993, and it's irritating me. So I started messaging each one of them. You realize it's 1992. It literally says it on the cover.
That's what I thought it said.
It literally says 1992, but they're like, oh, but at the bottom it says keep until 1993. Yes,
oh God.
That's what you do with catalogs.
New Year's.
You throw them away at the end of the year. You don't get it in December. You get it in like August or July. And that's your wish book. And then once Christmas comes, you throw it the fuck away and you get the spring catalog. That's how catalogs worked.
But don't throw it away.
Well, don't. But I mean, at the time, you would have.
Yeah.
But you're right. I'm just like, oh, you fucking morons. But anyways, happy to say I got all the 80s now. I feel like a piece of my childhood is been completed or restored, I guess.
For sure. And they're all complete. They don't have like cutouts.
Yep.
People used to cut out pictures and stuff.
Yeah, no. Luckily,
we circled them. Just circle what you wanted.
I wouldn't even mind if there was circling, but I wouldn't feel too happy about missing pages. But no, they're all good. They even have like little pullouts and things that I figured wouldn't have made it. Like it's like nobody ordered shit out of these things. It's like. Not even one of them. I'm thinking, fuck, nobody ordered shit. No wonder Sears is going out of business.
Oh, man. I thumbed through mine pretty hard as a kid.
Yeah, my grandparents, I'd come to my grandma would be like, yeah, look in it and see what you want for Christmas. And be like, I'd look at that shit every time I was bored. Fantasize.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at this Cobra Terradrome or And I'd be looking at the G.I. Joe toy. You know, it just whatever phase I was in at the time. You know, G.I. Joe or Star Wars or Nintendo. But yeah, man, I love those things. But man, now's the worst time. And I feel bad for anybody wanting to get in it now. Now is the absolute worst time. That's why I actually paid more for 1984 than I had for like 5 books combined. I mean, I paid $50 for it, which sounds ridiculous, but that was actually a deal. There's completed sets right now for like $80. And like, and not even one, like 5 in a row. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I knew I missed the window on that particular year. I'm like, and this is what the fuck. And normally I'm getting them for like $20 or less. I mean, I've got them as little as like $8 shipped, and like people are stupid and shitting them first class mail and actually paying to give them to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, I messaged them and say, no, just ship it media mail. Like, oh no, it's fine, I'll ship it out. I'm like, all right, you're losing money. You're gonna be in the hole. Wait till you print that shipping label. You're gonna regret that decision. Because I know they set it up wrong. You know, it was like $9.99 plus, you know, free ship. You got to set first class. You're going to lose money. You're not going to be able to ship it out for less than that. Oh no, it's fine. Okay. And you can even see some people, they don't hide the amount on there. It's like they paid $13.95 to send me something they sold for $10. Like, that was brilliant.
So you're still looking for 92.
No, 93. I have 92.
93. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
93.
I need like 93, 94. Yeah, I'm working my way up to 90s and way down to 70s, but I'm content with the 80s. If I don't get any more, I'm fine. But you know, it's you know how it is.
Looks like one of your sellers has changed their ad to now say 92/93.
Right. Yeah, and that was probably one of the people I harassed, and because I sent off every one of them for the people who had it listed as 93. I'm like, no, that is 92. It says it right on the cover.
Yeah.
And then the one person
it's also listed at $183.
Well, they're ridiculous. Well, is that the conversion for you, or
that's Canadian? Yeah, but it was higher.
That's crazy. I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. And now's the worst time to buy them.
It was $199, and it's currently on sale for $139 US.
Oh, wow. All right. I'll wait.
Yeah.
It won't sell. This little whatever is happening right now is gonna fade. Yeah, it's gonna fade, and I'll just wait it. I'll wait it out. I have other crap to buy, so I'll wait. But hey, Bill, before I forget, why Tiffany?
That's not my choice. That's for sure.
Yeah, way back in the day, that was Joe kind of put that on there, but it was because the nickname of a Tiffany. I might have missed
in the early episodes. What happened?
Right, then they called it a Tiffany because it was the two of them.
Yeah,
I think we're alone now. No guests, basically.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
then if there's no Tiffany, then we have a guest.
No, because you had Kevin in the last episode, albeit briefly, and you still played Tiffany at the end.
That was a mistake. That was a bonus caller.
Oh, that's
not
true.
an official guest.
That's true.
I don't know if I'd call it a bonus, but I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. You know, Joe likes that, so you can't use
they fought
adjectives anymore.
They fought over Tiffany for a while there. Yeah. Bill did not want it.
You know, and when it takes me back to a time. I mean, I do like the song, but I do hate you every time that I try to stop it before the last end when when you're doing the toast it and post it or post it, whatever you'd say at the end there. I try to cut it off because I don't like that fucking song stuck in my head. And then, now I'm hearing it all fucking day. Yeah, and I'm just like, motherfucker, you did it again. I always blamed you, so I guess now I know it's really Joe. I didn't think Joe would do that to me.
Yeah, it's Joe's fault. But when we forget it, people complain. Like, it just doesn't feel right if the show doesn't end with that.
No, you need to keep it going. There's no doubt about it. But, yeah. Anyway. All right, go ahead. I just had I just didn't want it.
All right, I don't even know where the hell we were. We were on story time, and Chris talked, and Bill has not yet, right?
We're in story time already.
No, I'm losing track.
We were at we were.
No, we were finishing tip. We were tips.
Yes, tips.
Bill did tips. Bill did his tip though. Oh my God, we're so off topic. You were supposed to be before him. I did mine. Inspect what you're buying. All right. Anyway, story time is next, but we're starting off with Chris. Yeah.
I think I told about 8 stories already. Go ahead, Bill.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Holy moly.
Restraint.
I'm not even prepared. I was all ready to set back with my drink and relax for a bit here.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
If you listen, you know I do this often. So, I mean.
Well, you guys have heard that I've had returns before, even though I don't accept returns as a seller. And I've been down the road of even so far as a buyer taking me to not just eBay returns, but to PayPal returns. And PayPal is notorious for just giving to the buyer regardless. So I had another ad that someone wanted to return on, and it was for one of these Android boxes I had sold. And I had sold it as untested. I'm selling all my stuff as untested nowadays. Like, you have to be a lawyer to come up with the right description, because, you know, I'm selling a lot of vintage electronics, and I simply cannot test every single operation of these electronics. You know, if it's a radio, they could say, you know what, it doesn't tune to 98.7. I want to return. So, you know, I'm not selling anything as working anymore. Everything is untested, as I did with this Android box. Now, it was an older Android box. I disclosed it was an older firmware. And all I said was it turned on. Any further operation is untested. And it got a lot of attention, actually. And because a lot of people just grab it for a Netflix box or to stream their own videos from their phone. This guy ended up buying it. I think it was in Brooklyn, New York or something. And he got it and didn't hear anything from him for months. 2 months. After 2 months, he emails me. He's, hey, this thing's like freezing. It's glitching or something. We have to work something out. I'm like, I'm really sorry to hear about it. I'm sorry about your problem with these Android boxes. It is like a mini computer. There's many, many things that can go wrong with it. You can attempt this or look at that. Go to these threads on Reddit. I gave him all these tips. It's like, no, I've dealt with these Android boxes many times. There's something wrong with the box. Has it been wet? What happened? And it's never been wet in my position, but I did buy it used with a lot of other electronics. Sorry again to hear about your problems, but again, I did sell this as untested.
But again, it's your problem.
So he wrote back and he's like, no, I think it was 2 weeks after that. He writes back, nope, this is still glitching. I want to return. Again, I wrote back, I'm sorry I don't offer returns on my ads, and this was sold as untested. There's really nothing I can do about it. And then right after that, an eBay notification came up saying this buyer has requested a return through eBay. Now, there's so much time passed that I'm not even in that zone where eBay cares. Like, if I say no, eBay's not going to step in and look at the case. So I just hit no, and that was it. eBay went, no return. Sorry, buddy. And he wasn't able to open a case with me through eBay. However, PayPal has this massive return window on anything you buy.
3 months, right?
It might be longer now. I thought I read somewhere where they extended it to like 6 months. It's really incredible considering it's a used item. Like, I'm selling used merchandise. It's one thing maybe if it's new retail merchandise you're buying, but used vintage electronics. Anyways. So PayPal gets involved, and you're like, oh, this is an automatic loss for me. Now, you know,
and shipping to the States as well.
That's the thing. If you want it back, well, if it goes to PayPal, they're going to get that person to ship it back no matter what, and you're going to get stuck with that shipping fee, and you're going to have to refund everything, his original purchase price and his original shipping fee. So it's a real ass kicker when it goes to PayPal. But PayPal does give you a chance to write your side of the story to them, which I did. Had a big long point form, like 5 points about everything that is wrong with him doing a claim, because it's just ridiculous from the start. Not to mention, it's like a mini computer. This could be down to user error at this point. He could be using the wrong cable. He could have a bad Wi-Fi. It could just be so many
wrong
things.
Power cord. Low power input could totally do something like that.
Yeah, he's got in a bad power jack. It is so many things. And then at the end, I asked, hey, has this guy updated the firmware? And that was the final thing to kind of cover my ass. Whereas if he were to write back and say, yeah, I updated the firmware immediately,
There
I'd
you
say,
go.
oh,
Now it's modified.
Yeah.
Now, it actually didn't go this far. The next thing that happened, PayPal came back to me and said, we've decided on your case, and neither of you are going to have to pay. So they're going to refund this guy, and I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to pay.
And that's actually the best. That's the best scenario, really.
But how do you get that scenario? How do you get that to be the outcome? What do you have to do?
See, I've actually had that happen a lot of times with eBay. Go ahead, finish the story, Bill. But I mean, it happens.
Yeah, it was a hypothetical I was throwing out, not.
Well, this
right. No. I've had it with eBay a ton of times.
They're learning the lesson that they can do this and win. Right. They have the money and they have the object at this point.
Yeah.
And that is more maddening. I wanted to write back PayPal again and say, you shouldn't give this guy money. It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, you're teaching him that he can do that. Yeah.
I sold him a box at that's what he wanted to buy. And 2 months later, he changed his mind. So how can you reward him for that? But at least I didn't have to pay on that one.
Well, Elon Musk will sell another blowtorch. He'll be all right.
But
that's the guy who owns PayPal. I don't know.
No, he sold PayPal years ago.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So
years
whoever
ago.
the fuck he sold it to,
yeah.
There you go.
He sold it to eBay, and then eBay sold it to someone else.
Yeah, eBay lost it or something. Somehow it's separated, I guess, right? Or did they sell it?
They sold it, or they
shitty
put up
sell.
on
I don't know why they would have. Now they're saying that I don't know, starting in a couple of years or year and a half, they're gonna.
eBay's coming up with their own replacement.
Yeah, do their own deal. That's gonna.
It's already in trials. The problem is when you sign up for the trial of that, you can't use PayPal as well. They make you use just the new one.
Yeah. You know what? I went to buy something for something the other day, and the only thing they would accept was Apple Pay. That was it. I was like, I've never even heard of that before. And I messaged them like,
one in a couple million.
Yeah, it's like, nope, I'll only take Apple Pay. I'm like, well, good luck with that, dude.
Yeah, was it Duke from Retro Nonsense?
That's exactly what it was.
But we've had these return things happening, and the buyers just keep learning this lesson that they can get away with it. I know another guy, like I won't say who it is because he likes to stay very private about his selling. I don't know if you can imagine who it is.
But Tom Cruise motherfucker.
Let's say this guy sold a Guitar Hero guitar, and he just sold it as here's the guitar. It's untested. What you see is what you get. Picture of the guitar. Comes with the guitar, comes with the strap. Sells it to a guy. The guy writes back, you know what? This guitar is unusable to me. You didn't include a dongle in here. And so this guy writes back, I wasn't selling a dongle. I was selling a guitar and a strap. That's what the ad was. Meanwhile, this gets taken to a full-on eBay case. And this guy's actually pleading a case that the seller was in the wrong for not selling the additional accessory to this guy because this guy didn't know he needed that additional accessory. Madness.
That's like
the ad didn't say no dongle. I would have wrote in the description.
Well,
I would have wrote in the description
to
cover my ass. I know that.
Right. I didn't get it. Didn't come with the Xbox. How am I going to play it?
Exactly.
That is a good comparison.
Very good. Yeah. Of course, now this went to a full case with eBay, and phone calls were made to eBay. Again, lessons we learned from Dollar Dorks and Chris Roberts is to phone eBay the second you have an issue.
Yes.
And eBay was very much like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and award the buyer the refund on this. And the guy'd say, whoa, but tell me what I did wrong first. I don't think he did anything wrong, but we're going to go ahead and reward the buyer. And just because that's a better way for good relations. And whoa, but I didn't do anything. Tell me what I did wrong first. It was like a 20-minute conversation. Then finally eBay relented and said, you know what, we're going to give the guy a refund, but you get to keep your money.
Keep the money.
That's the way it should be.
But again, this buyer learned that he can get away with it.
Yep.
Buyers have zero responsibility for what they're buying.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know what though? I still say that system did protect the seller too. He just had to work for it, which sucks.
Yeah,
You know what I
worked
mean?
hard. Yep.
And it does suck because there's so many shady ass sellers out there that, you know, I had to swing that direction at some point because early eBay stuff was horror show. Like it was a shit show all the way. Like you'd buy something. I remember buying 2 or 3 things through eBay. You'd have to mail off a fucking money order and just pray you got the stuff. And if it came, it didn't come, it didn't matter. You message eBay, be like, well, we contacted the seller. They said they shipped it. Sorry. So, I mean, eventually it had to swing back the other way. Now it seems like the buyer has more power, but I don't know. I'm undefeated, man. I fight. And the only wow, one guy got me, but I fucked myself on that because I actually accepted the package. And
Yeah.
that was the only time I guess you could say I lost. But then I ended up reselling it. I didn't get no strike or nothing like that. But I mean, that's a lesson. Hey, if the guy sends it back outside of the return policy, don't accept it. Say nope, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But if
Right back.
PayPal instructed him to send it, you know.
But what the guy told me, he said you can't have the money and the item, and that's right. I couldn't even argue that. I was just like, okay, but if you don't have the item, he can't have the money and the item either. You see what I'm saying? So I never got it. I don't know what you tell me. Show me a tracking number that says I received it. I keep sending that shit back. I'll just mark no, that's not me.
That's the problem.
Right
Is you
back.
need to keep track of all your packages. Then you need to know what's coming to you, and you need to know
Right.
the address of everybody you shipped things to and their name.
Yeah, well, that's
And
true.
if they use
I mean,
a different name, you're even more screwed. They could send it from
Yeah,
a different name.
Yeah, I don't know they'd be that savvy, but you know that
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
good point. That is a good point. But
Yes, it could be part of a scam, though. I could see a person come up with a scam like that.
well, and then what's
Send
stopping
back a
them
box
from
of
sending you a
bricks.
fucking box? Yeah, exactly. Just find out whatever the weight is, as long as the weight matches up. What's stopping them from doing that?
Yeah. To go back, sorry, but to the Guitar Hero thing, I noticed your mystery seller did also have a another guitar that they sold without the dongle and put no dongle in the title. Just saying.
Well, we don't know
Just saying.
We don't know who the seller is.
I may have found an ad that looks exactly like what you're describing from somebody that sounds exactly like that person. And this was even an earlier sale that they did say no dongle. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I don't know who you're
could have
talking
been
about.
helped, but
And this person even said they talked to you personally about not saying who they are. So
that didn't happen.
Anyways, I saw a lot of vintage electronics, and it is a minefield out there. So I'm like a lawyer coming up with the description, how to say it, how to kind of cover myself, because there's just literally no way to just say, yeah, works, because there's just too many operations in electronics that can go wrong. They'll start to fail on shipping, I'm sure. All the little contacts, it's... So I'm just going untested. I know, Chris, you say a lot of stuff just works. Like you probably said that drum thing works. And
well, I haven't listed it yet, but it lights up. I roll the dice on it.
See, I would totally get burnt on that. I'm sure of it. They would say, I don't know, the drumstick should be an inch longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
This not as described parameter of eBay should only relate to when I bought a camera and you send me a boombox.
Right. Now, are you noticing this is happening from American sellers to you, or is there any pattern? Or buyers, I mean, is it American buyers?
2 American buyers, right?
Yeah, I guess they were
camcorder and then this other one.
Yeah.
Android box.
So I wonder if it's like some sort of, they know they kind of got you over a barrel because how much of the shipping is going to be. You're going to end up losing almost all your money on return shipping.
Well, yeah, I've been through that return as well, where I know I misspoke. I know I misspoke in the description where I didn't cover myself on that little bit. So I'm just going, you know what? You get to keep it and you get a full refund. You win.
Yeah.
That really burns. But you'd lose anyways in the end.
You're right, and it's always better to
But
avoid
Chris,
the return, the defect if you can.
Chris is thinking maybe these American sellers know that that's a problem for Canadians. Sorry,
Buyers,
American
yeah,
buyers know
yeah.
this is a problem for Canadian sellers and targeting Canadian sellers of things they want to get the
Sure.
product and the refund.
I
Yeah,
guess
like-
the only, I mean, I know you don't want to limit your American market because I mean
I
it's
do.
a bigger. Well, I'm just saying, you know,
Because
it's
of
a
this
bigger
exact
market,
reason. This is one of the
but
reasons.
that would be
Yeah.
a good reason for an American or for a Canadian seller to avoid selling particular items. Like you could restrict those items. Maybe not
Yeah.
all your items. Like obviously selling a book to, I mean, it's going to be a book, but something like with an electronic, maybe you
This book
wanna
is
limit that.
described.
Yeah. There was a period missing in the middle of.
Yeah. It's the wrong
You
revision.
didn't tell me
It's the
about
wrong
that.
revision
There's
of
a
the book.
punctuation error.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Okay, moving on to me for story time. So my story is about my new PlayStation 4. I saw a guy post a PlayStation 4 on Kijiji. He said he had a picture of the box for the PlayStation 4. It was a 500 gig slim. And it was just the box, kind of a blurry picture. The box looked like it had been beat up. He didn't have I don't think he had a price on it. I can't remember, but I asked how much, and I think he said, I can't remember if he said 200 or what, but I came back to him. I almost should have had the chat up, but I came back to him and said, there's no controller included. I'll buy it for 170. He's like, when can you come get it?
There it
I'm like,
is.
Holy moly.
When can you come get it? That's a response that I should have thought was a red flag.
Oh.
He had his exact address in the ad, like house number, like number, the street, everything, postal code, all of it in the ad, which I've seen people do that before,
Yeah.
but not usually. It's very rare. It's usually like some lady who doesn't realize that field is public. So I organize it. He's going to come by my work when he's done work, which is just before I'm done work. And I'm meeting with another guy who happens to be a friend of mine at the exact same time, or like 15 minutes before. So my friend's still there. I haven't seen the friend of mine in like 10 years. So we're shooting the shit in the lobby of my office building. And this other guy calls me and I answer the phone. He's like, where are you? I see him drive by in his van. I'm like, okay, I just saw you. I'll come meet you. Say bye to my friend, go over. He's got the PS4 in a bag. There's no box. I forgot to look for this. I asked him, where'd this box go? I didn't notice that the phone number was blocked until after I started looking into this problem. So I go over to the van. It's raining out. He comes out of the van. I'm like, open the door so we can like look at it inside and not get it wet. He opens the door. Fucking basketball falls out. There's another basketball there. Fucking shoes all over this van. He's like, sorry, we got a lot of kids, or had a lot of kids. He's got a buddy in the passenger seat. And honestly, when a guy's selling a thing on Kijiji and there's a buddy in the passenger seat, that's always a red flag for me too. And asking, like I said, I already asked him, does it work? I asked him again. Everything's fine. It works fine. Yep. I already have it in a message. He said the same thing. He's like, yeah, I just upgraded to a PS4 Pro, so I'm keeping the controller and I don't need this anymore. I'm like, that's logical. That makes sense to me. He doesn't look like the kind of guy that can afford a PS4 Pro, but at the same time, he doesn't look like the kind of guy who would
could
buy
afford
it
a regular.
without buying it, or without being able to afford it. Right? He looks like the kind of guy who would go outside his means to buy it. So whatever, everything looks fine. I take a look at the system. It looks cleaner than I expected. Like I expected some dust on it, or I suspected some scratches on top for $170. I figured that's fine without a controller. I already have 2 controllers for PS4 and I have no system. But I didn't notice that it also wasn't a slim, because the original PS4 has a shiny side and a matte side. But they did a model after the PS4 original that wasn't yet the slim, that was shiny on both sides, but still had that line of light down the middle. So I thought I saw a slim because it was shiny across the whole top. There was no matte side, and it was not a slim. I didn't realize that. So that's a little bit of a, shitty. But then I get the thing home, power it on, crunch, 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 crunch in the disc bay. What the fuck? Message the guy right away. No reply. His ad is gone. He had 3 other ads. So I was able to find, how the fuck did I find it now? Forget how I found it. Like I had the page saved or something like that in my history at work. So I went back to my computer at work the next day and found his ads, like his account for Kijiji, where you can see all of his ads, none listed. His other 2 ads were gone. His account has existed for 5 years. So it's not like there's a fly by night thing. And like phone number's blocked, so I can't text or call him. So I start up the PS4, the disk problem, hit eject, it won't come out. Starts up and there's a guy's account already on the Xbox. So I look up that guy on Facebook. Sure enough, it's the friend that was in the car. So I have that guy's Facebook. I know the town he lives in, which is, half an hour away. I have his postal code because he has other ads on Kijiji. On Facebook. He has things in the Facebook marketplace for sale. He's got an RCA TV for $100. I could tell him I'm going to go buy and meet him up and punch him in the face. But
yeah,
what I'd like to do is meet up with him with a bunch of cameras and a whole bunch of friends and be like, what the fuck, asshole? Now, give me your friend's info so I can go fucking meet him and tell him what the fuck's what too. But anyway, I got both those guys' info as everything I could find on them. I wrote down the van, all the info about it, and this guy's real name, the friend. I wrote down that, noted his Facebook account, just so I have this shit. I already have a blacklist in my video game collection list of people who are blacklisted from buying from me again or selling to me again. So I have a list of people to watch out for. They're added to that list. So I messaged James Retropixel because I guess with his new job, he fixes PS4s. And he mentioned to me that if I came across any PS4s that were like Yellow Light of Death or whatever, he could help me out with that. So I messaged him and told him the problem. He's like, that sounds like a common problem. So he actually fired up a live stream to show me him taking apart a PS4 and show me some of the common problems with them, with the disk drive and stuff. So it turned out his PS4 was an original one. And mine is what's known as the C body, which is a newer version that the Destiny version was, the Destiny model. So it's just slightly newer internals. It's different. But anyway, I was able to take mine apart because I have experience taking apart consoles already. Took it apart, opened up the disk drive, found that there's this thing in the middle. Once I opened it up, I found this piece dangling around inside. I got the disc out, which happened to be LA Noir. So I now have LA Noir free. It's got some scratches on top, so I can't sell it, but it works for me if I ever feel like going through that game. I tried, but those fucking cutscenes, man, I can't watch cutscenes that are 10 minutes long. Anyway, pull the thing apart, find this piece, go through some Google images of, I Googled optical drive problems and found that this is basically a connector between 2 rollers on the eject motor that roll the disc out. It connects one of the rollers to the other one because the motor's on one side. So it has to pass the power through. And there's this little dog bone shaped thing. That's what was out. So I put it back in the right place based on a video I found of a not taking discs PS4 problem. Put the PS4 back together and everything works fine. It works. It just is the slim and I got it broken. At $170, that's still cheaper than most people buy PS4s these days, even an original one. But it just bothers me that these fucking guys got away with it or think they got away with something because they think I have a broken system now, right? At least I was able to fix it because I know what I'm doing, and James also helped me out. And yeah, so that's my $170 PS4 I now own. I could throw a controller with it and go sell it for $200. I'd still be up money if I did that. I wanted a PS4, but maybe I'll wait until I find a Slim. Maybe take a bunch more stuff I have to trade into a game store and get a Slim from a store or something like that. But yeah.
EB Games is offering pretty good trade on those, aren't they?
I have no idea.
Thursdays or something, they always have a console event or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's over 200, I think.
In-store credit. But then their systems are not cheap, right?
You throw controllers at them and all that jazz, you might Might be able to. But can
quite a
you
few
screw
games.
around with this guy's account?
So the account's on the PS4, but anything you want to do to change settings or anything like that requires a password.
Mm.
They've added security and stuff like that. It used to be back in the day that anytime you got something like this, you could make changes and stuff to people's accounts because there wasn't extra security in there, like reprompting for password when you're doing an important change, like change an email address, something like that. So no. I have the account on there. I have all the games he had. He hasn't logged in 4 months or something like that. I can see all his friends. I can start messaging them and say, I'm a fucking asshole. Start making moves on his male friends. I don't know. But that also gives away the fact that I have the account and he could just go change his password and then I don't have these games that he owns. Oh, he did have $6 in PlayStation credit, which I used since the console's now mine. So that's technically my money.
Right.
So I used it to buy a game that I will play. It was $6 something. I can't remember. $6.04 or something. But yeah. So I have a PS4 again. Haven't used it since.
Yeah.
Does
Again,
work.
I don't like it when these guys get away with stuff, though.
I agree. Come on over. Let's go to his house.
I'm a
Bring some
pacifist.
cameras. I know, but we don't need to do anything. I don't need to fight the guy. I just need to confront him and say, you were caught.
Yeah.
Admit you made a mistake. Don't do it again. Treat him like a child. Also, I know where you live. Yeah. I want to do it. I'm never going to do it. But yeah. All right. That's enough talking from me. Discussion and topic game collection update. This Chris and I basically just update on our collections on this usually. We've already asked Bill all the questions like, do you track your collection and purchases and stuff like that? Unless you have any new developments in your tracking of sales and stuff.
I do track my purchases using a spreadsheet. I hate doing it, but I do it nonetheless. Again, I do that at work when I get a minute, so might as well do it there. I'm up, which is good. I'm well up. I'm very happy. Although I don't know, I bought a television, so I don't know if that goes on the spreadsheet or not, or is that a household?
I consider that a household thing. You're gonna have a television anyway.
Well,
like unless you bought it just because you want a game with it. But I tend to treat HDMI cables, HDMI switchers.
We know you cook
entertainment
the books
unit.
good,
Yeah, well, I don't cook the books. It's somebody else that we were talking about earlier who cooks the books. Double dipping and
well, this is now zero.
Yeah, it was free, but I also claimed the money up there, which then I used to spend on something else. So it pays me twice to trade something in. Yeah. So yeah, that's Bill's collection update. Chris?
I was actually trying to look up a number here, but I added a big stack of manuals recently. I go back and forth what the hell I want to focus on. It's like knocking off N64 cards. I'm down to I think 28 for the set, and added a shitload of Mario Duck Hunts. I'm trying to fill up this cabinet, so because I have a sickness, but added like 20 more of those, and
Instagram deals.
Well, man, people want to give them to me, so it's hard to say no.
That's kind of cool. They want to be part of something, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll still we'll work a trade or I'll buy them, but at a very reduced rate. You know what I mean? Like,
I've been watching for you, but everybody around here sells them for $5 or $10.
No, I mean, I that's what some people hit me up, be like, well, how much will you pay for it? And it's like, well, I mean, if you're looking to actually make money on it, you don't want to sell them to me, because I'm not going to offer a lot because I don't need it. It's what started off as kind of like a scavenger hunt, kind of, I would pick up extra carts anytime I saw them for $1 or $2 just because it kind of was fun, to have like this ridiculous stack of Mario Duck Hunts. Came into this idea of I'd like to build just a cabinet just for them, just to have it. And I always get like those stupid comments like, "Oh, you gonna make a coffee table out of it?" Or no, No, I have respect for them. I don't want to ruin them. I just want to stare at them, and I don't want anyone else to have them. That's it. That's all. I just
There's
don't want
enough
anyone
out
else.
there. That's the other thing.
Right.
There's enough of them out
Right.
there.
Yeah. This isn't
Not
a
a big
rare
deal.
cart. There's millions of these fucking things. So.
Yeah, literally.
But the manuals, I'm down to like I don't know. I think it's like 130 for the set, which
So
is.
What are you gonna do when your Mario Duck Hunt carts outnumber your regular carts?
Oh, they never will, because I only want 380. That's how much.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay.
So I'm halfway there. I just acquired another 6, actually another 7. So I'm a little way. I have an 191, so I'm 1 over the halfway point. So, but I have plans. I'm gonna make some pictures out of it, and it's gonna be a fun thing. I have ideas behind it. But and I'm not really that invested in them. Like if I actually just decided to say fuck it and sell it, I'd make a pretty substantial profit off of these things. But I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's just in a corner. I like the way it looks. It brings me comfort. I sit and stare at it, and
every time you have these pictures of all the carts or your NESs, it makes me want to, because I did the picture of the Xbox systems. Now I want to stack the Xbox systems and put my son beside them.
Yeah. Well, that's something I always thought about, like measuring my kids' growth with the Nintendos. But every time I do, because I have a bunch of original Game Boys. I have a big stack of those too, and a bunch of NES consoles. And then I noticed that I've actually inspired some friends, because it's like this unspoken competition, like they'll do the stacked picture. I'm not saying I invented the stacked picture. I didn't necessarily copy anybody, but I never really noticed it. And all of a sudden on Instagram, I seen people stacking these Nintendos. I'm like, oh, you're getting there, but I just added 3 more. All of them are free. And then, you think, well, what are you going to do with it? Like, I'm not really attached to them. I will trade them. I mean, I traded off a stack of them for Cheetahman 2. So, like, I mean, they're valuable. I mean, they're worth value. I'll sell them off in a heartbeat. I'm not that, but they do look really good, because the bottom of all these games right here, there's a big space on the bottom, and they fit across it perfectly. And when you see it from looking at it from the outside, looking at it, like, I don't know, I like the way it looks. There's some symmetry to it or something. I don't know.
Just get rid of the junky ones, the ones that are stained or discolored, as you get new ones in there.
Right. Filter them through. Yeah. I will. But then, it's like, I don't know. I'll keep them for another. But, they're good for trading. I have friends, like there's a buddy back east who is doing this really cool thing. He's he didn't know what to call it initially. He took a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo and combined it. Like somehow connected their parts together, so it plays both, but it actually running through both consoles, and it has all these multiple connections to it. And I was like, well, that's like the Franken NES, because it's like, it looks like an NES, but you have all these parts. So now he's called it that, and he's hooking it up to, like, it's gonna be like, this was way before like Nintendo came out with their online gaming. He can actually connect to another Nintendo in another room. It's fucking amazing. Like, this guy's a genius. I was like, God damn, why do you gotta live in Florida? But he sends me updates all the time. He goes, look at this. And he'll be playing it on one TV, but it's also playing on another TV through another Nintendo, and he has like a network adapter cord going to it. I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but it was really fucking cool. I sent him a Nintendo, and he modded it out for me. He put on the Famicom, like, because there's it has multiple audio within it that we didn't get. We didn't get stereo. Yeah. So it taps into that. So it'll play, like, I could hook in I could put a Famicom adapter into it. It'll play the Famicom music that we can't play. You know what I mean? Like, there's like on a Famicom cart, there's audio tracks that don't come out. And well, I'm able to do that, and has a headphone jack on it. And there's even a knob where I could turn the volume, like I could turn it to regular sound or turn it back to the extra tracks. I don't know. It's really cool, man. This dude's hella cool. But anyway, so I think about sending him junky ones just to see what the hell he'll do with them. But anyway, that's my update. I just got a bunch of more manuals and more Mario Duck Hunts.
Okay. All right. Well, I just updated my spreadsheet with a purchase that I made today and forgot about. But currently I'm up $300.56. Bill, did you do that?
What? What are you talking about?
Includes book cooking, he says. So that's everything in my budget, or everything all my game collection. I don't have values and everything, so I always shouldn't say the values of crap because it's not accurate. Anyway, it hasn't cost me a thing, and I'm up $300. So I gotta trade more shit, and I got piles of junk sitting down here. My wife's always telling me to get rid of stuff. So yeah, I just matter of time of getting to the game stores. They're just not convenient, like near my work or anything, to go on lunch. All right. So the next section is our listener
hold
questions. Yeah. Oh, Bill, we already did Bill, right?
We were going to talk about
Cooking the books.
eBay invoices out of curiosity.
Okay. Yes.
Like
yes.
my
You
last
wanna talk
eBay
about-
invoice for last month was 45 big ones.
All right. I had went through mine for you the other day, but I'll do it again. But I think the more interesting one is Chris here. Maybe I should do it before Chris, though.
So I think people would be curious to know how much people got to pay back to eBay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I didn't even think about that. So how much I paid in fees?
What was your last invoice that they sent you? Should have been a couple days ago.
Well, see, I don't get those. I pay it as it goes. I pay it instantly. As soon as I make the sale, I go in and pay it. But I could tell you what the balance was, though. It still says it, but they don't send me invoices.
Okay.
Or when they do, it says 0.
Oh,
Because you didn't know anything. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you pay it right away.
I pay it right away. That way I know exactly how much money I have. I don't like waiting because I like to spend my money.
That's
You know what I
interesting.
mean?
Yeah, I never even thought of that. I don't like that they do it monthly. I wish
didn't
they
even
would
know
just
you
take
could
it
do that.
off.
Yeah,
with each
you
one.
could go right into it and do a one-time payment. You go into your account settings, like it'll say my account, and then you'll go in, you click on, well, I'll just show you right now. So you go into my account, and then you scroll down, and it'll say one-time payment, and you click on that, and then it'll tell you exactly how much. Like my last invoice would have been $95.42, but right now it says 0 because I pay as I go.
So you're physically having to pay every day. You go in and pay it.
I do. I don't have to, but
Yeah.
it's my OCD. I like to know. I just want to be even. I don't want to owe them. I don't want shit getting pulled out after I made
You
a
don't
purchase.
want to. You don't want to look at your
it.
PayPal and think this is how much money I have.
$200 in
when you still
PayPal, but in
owe, yeah.
reality, I have 75 in fees. I want to know exactly where
That's
I'm at.
interesting. Yeah, I like that too.
It's like the way I keep my ledger balanced. You know, like okay, I put out $100. I made $500. I paid $100 in fees, but I got my $400 profit. Now I know my $100 comes back out. $300 is what I could fuck around with, or pay my truck tags or whatever. You know, whatever. But yeah, I pay it instantly. I don't wait. But my last invoice would have been $95 and what I say 62 cents.
Cool.
Interesting.
See, good thing you ask questions.
That's almost like what? Damn, that's actually pretty good, huh? That would be like almost $1,000, I guess, huh? Yeah. What did you say yours was, Derek? $22 or?
I don't even have one for November, but October was $10.
Oh, big
September
money.
was 30. August was 20. July was 25. June was 28.
How much you selling that Spider-Man outfit behind you? Or don't tell me you wear that. That's not like some sexual
It's a sweater.
cosplay.
It's his sweater.
Oh,
Who,
it's a
me?
sweater.
Yeah,
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Oh,
okay.
It's
Sweater?
just a hoodie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still a pretty cool hoodie.
No, it is a cool hoodie.
Yeah, I think Chris was trying to buy it off you, but he thought it was spandex. That's why.
I thought it was a full outfit. You know, man, one of those regrets. Well, you know, you go to a yard sale or whatever. You know, you'll go to one section for whatever reason. It's all fate, right? I go right, and maybe I should have went left. You know, when you go to the yard sale, like you go to this. Sometimes you go right, and that's like everything you're looking for, and sometimes you go left, and everything was on the right. Well, anyways, get to this yard sale. I go to this one section, and I hear this old man rummaging through the clothes, and I would never go to the clothes first, but he pulls off this Spider-Man. Like it was a whole, you know, the whole deal, but it was legit. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that's got to be worth $200 or $300. And he started talking about, hey, do you watch Big Bang Theory? It was kind of cute because the guy was like old as shit, and I guess you know, I don't know, the one main dork on Big Bang Theory wore it on one of the episodes, but he's like, yeah, I remember the one episode when I can't even think of their names right now, but
Sheldon, Leonard.
Sheldon, there you go. Sheldon, thank you. And he goes, man, when Sheldon was wearing it, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, how much you want for it? And she's like, oh, give me $1. And I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. And it was still had tags. It still
Nice.
had tags. I'm like, fuck. I was so tempted to be
I'll
like,
give you 2.
yeah, well, I'd be like, I'll just really fuck the action up. I'll give you 30. You know what I mean? I looked it up. It was $350 and used. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know what the new price was. I didn't even notice the tags until he was like folding it up. And I was like, oh, fuck, it still has tags on it. Used, it was like $350. I don't know what, I can't even remember the brand now, but I spotted the brand because he was holding up to see the size on it. And I kind of peeked over his shoulder and I was like, oh, shit, it would have fit me and everything. I mean, just in case it was, you know, I was gonna keep it. You know what I mean? Not that I really wanted to, but you know what I mean. Like, for $1, I might have talked myself into keeping it.
For sure.
But anyway, yeah. So I thought that's what you had going on back there, Bill. But fuck the sweater.
Well, you can zip the hood up all the way down over your face, and it makes a mask.
Yep. Yeah, there's kids on the bus that wear those. I think it's so fucking cool walking on there. It's like, yeah, wait till you walk right into something stupid. All right. So here, so what would you think about this? If you saw this at a,
I didn't realize it was that big. Holy shit!
Yeah, I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah, this fucking thing is giant, right?
Yeah, from the picture you can't tell it's that big. It looks about half the size.
You know, of course, it has the.
I don't like that. I don't.
No,
like that.
I don't need to see the butt every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You shared it on Instagram. You shared it on Twitter.
Oh yeah. Well, it was too funny, and it's actually a Toys R Us exclusive. Kind of cool. So that's Toys R Us on. But what would you think this is worth? Just if you had a guess.
What's it from? I don't even know.
I don't even think it is from anything. I just think it just says Yeti. It says the amazing Yeti. I don't know. It had a brand name to it, but it's not off of anything, far as I know. Don't start looking it up. We're playing a guessing game right now.
I don't know. Yes,
no, you walked up and you're looking at this.
Dude, I would not pay $1 for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I paid. Yeah, well, it's worth like 35 plus shipping.
Weird.
Well, I think I could actually get more, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
If I search Amazing Yeti Toys R Us, there's fucking Yetis. I wonder if I just do Yeti Toys R Us. Yeah, just Yeti Toys R Us.
Yes,
Yeti Toys R Us came in a playset.
Well, there's different ones.
That's a different one. That's different. Yeah.
There's different ones. There's smaller ones that came in a playset, and then there's the bigger one that was just on its own.
Yeti giant figures is some video. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know, but I knew when I saw it, it was worth something.
It's a video of someone in a Toys R Us buying or like looking at it.
Oh, well, you have to do a video when you're in Toys R Us looking at a Yeti. It seems like an obvious thing to do. Come on, dude.
All right, moving on. We got listener questions, and my God, we got a lot. So if you have any questions, you can tweet #DDAnswers or ask in the Cartridge Club forums under Dollar Dorks or on the YouTube comments of the video if you're watching this on YouTube. So from @NintendoHodge, what's all of your favorite competition? Sorry, what's all your local competition like? And is there one reseller you're always dealing with? So, Bill, you dealing with Hodge all the time?
Yeah, I was going to say, my problem is a guy named Nintendo Hodge. He keeps breaching our borders. He's neglecting our treaties. He's constantly invading. But that's fine. He's got the eye of the tiger for this. At this point, I'm not going crazy on the Kijiji or the Let Go. I'm not scouring it every day. It's I've got enough going on that if something falls in my lap, if I walk by something and see something, that's when I'll pick it up. But I'm not doing the work, and I'm certainly not dropping like $60, $80, $100 on lots. I'm just, it turns my stomach to do that after yard sale season. So I'm not in that mindset. So he can go at it for sure. And the resellers that bother me are these guys in the thrift stores that camp out all day long by the doors. and they congregate together. Even he can overhear them talking about their glory days of making big money on stupid shitty items, and they spend their entire day in the thrift store, 8 to 3 every day in the thrift store.
I don't think
Drives
I've
me
ever
crazy.
seen. I don't think I've ever seen that. I see resellers in thrift stores, but they usually come and go, and that's the most I see them. Is I'll see them repetitively, but not all day long.
Yeah, that's their work.
Jesus. And then someone else must be manning the shop, or maybe they sell online, or
Yeah, well, the one guy I see a lot who I talk to, Blake, I've talked about him before.
yeah.
He has I think he said he has like a stall or whatever, one of these antique, warehouse places. But he also sells online, but he's a guy with tons of connections. So he might be buying something, but he's not selling it to the next. He's moving it along to the next reseller. So he's just moving stuff along. He's got contacts everywhere.
So
He's
resellers that
buying up,
specialize in certain things, basically.
Yeah,
Like
like
here's my
he'll-
electronics guy, here's my
exactly.
like antiques guy, here's my art guy. Like
He'll
Okay.
buy up all the video games and he just moves it to his video game guy. So he'll make a little bit of scratch, but not the full amount of scratch. And then he doesn't have to worry about it. And this guy
Yeah.
always buys whatever he'll give him. So
That is nice to have someone that buys everything off you.
mhm.
So for me in my area, I've kind of tracked resellers and stores that sell on Kijiji and Facebook, and I've got a list of over 65 different resellers in my area, and that's just like 2 towns right next to me.
You've got a
some of them-
dossier on these people?
Yes, with addresses if I've dealt with them before, phone numbers if I've worked on them
Totally.
before.
Fucking nerd, man.
The
What?
Gestapo.
I got hey, you remember where I live, right? I'm like, no, I don't remember where you are. Yeah, there's people. Sometimes people are just assume that I know who they are. Or the one guy goes by 3 different names, like M. Hamed or Ahmed or A. Space Ahmed. I think I can't remember. He has like 4 different names, and he's been a reseller for a while, to the point where the local game store knows him well. Yeah, he's still selling. I haven't dealt with him in a while, but he's come to my house. He's met me at work. I've met him other places. I've run into him at thrift stores before and just, shot the shit like, oh, how you doing now? And what's new? And find anything good? And then he tried to sell me some Nintendo Game & Watches. I'm like, that's out of my price range, man. I'm not buying Nintendo Game & Watches at $150, $200 each. That's ridiculous. Yeah, but there's lots of them around here. Just way too many. Some of them I've added, like, just for example, like Creepleet, I know him. He's in my town. I added his Kijiji listings to my Kijiji watching RSS feed app, so that if he posts anything, I get notified, so I can be like, hey, you want to hook me up, anything like that. So I've got other people like that. CJR, I've got his Kijiji link as well, just in case he posts anything that I'm interested in. Yeah, lots of people like that. Some stores around here as well post on Kijiji sometimes, so keep an eye on their stuff in case they have any deals or anything like that. Yeah, there's a lot of competition around here. It's ridiculous. There's also a hell of a lot of collectors around here. Like I see stuff posted around here that I'm just like, I wouldn't see that anywhere else in Ontario. And here's some guy who's got it and he's selling it. Like that weird arcade machine, that Nintendo arcade machine that Hodge picked up a couple months ago. It didn't say Nintendo. There was 1 letter missing from Nintendo. And it was like an NES inside there that you paid to pay by the minute or something like that.
You talking about the player's choice?
No,
No.
I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
It says Nintendo Arcade, but it actually says like Nin.
Is it like the little red ones where you sit down?
I'm pretty sure it was a stand-up.
It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm gonna find it now, but
Oh shit.
if only I could spell. It's like an arcade cabinet that looks like it's a Nintendo one, but it's not at all official. It's a knockoff that was sued. It might even be Canadian exclusive. I think someone has. I see what you're saying with the player's choice one, but that's not it. I don't know. It's like a converted old poker machine, someone had said. I don't know. I won't find it. But anyway, stuff like that that's just so freaking random. People in this area selling in their collections and stuff. Arcade machines are popping up like crazy recently too. Anyway, Chris, what about you for resellers and competition in your area?
I don't have any competition.
I wish I didn't have any competition.
Next question.
It's a paradise.
I'm good. I don't. People, they worry about me.
All right.
Get that on a shirt.
We can do that. So Mrs. Q Dog asks us, now that garage sale season is over, and that's something I was going to ask Chris about. Is it actually over in your area or not? No.
Nope. It's never over. There's a better time where it's more plentiful, but it's never. It's 12 months out of the year. But I will find myself in the colder months more gravitating towards swap meets.
Cold.
Okay. Well, right. Compared to your cold, nothing. But I mean, we'll get down to 75. No, I'm just joking. No, we'll get down to the 30s or sometimes lower than that. Whatever. I mean Fahrenheit, not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Celsius or whatever. Euro 0, R32. I mean, we get to freezing. We have freezing over here. It's just we don't get snow. Not where I'm at anyway. If it is snow, it's like it's bullshit snow. It's what you guys would
gone in no time. Yeah.
Well, it's like like a quarter-inch layer of snow. Like it unmeasurable.
Like we're gonna have in a week, basically.
Yeah. Like what's on your. Well, yeah, no, it's nothing. You guys would laugh at what we get.
I already do laugh at you.
Right, but hey, but
until you're at garage sales all year long, then I'm laughing.
But you don't get the heat that we get either, though. So I mean, there's a yin and the yang. But yeah, we don't have no worries about yard sales in my area. They're always around. There's swap meets. The only thing that fucks it up is rain. That's it. And then if it rains, I'll go to thrift stores. But I usually will hit Let Go and all that. I usually do all that stuff when I'm bored. Like if I have downtime at work, I'll scan through it, or maybe like before I go to bed, I'll scan through it, or maybe like waking up in the morning, like before I go to yard sales, maybe I'll scan through it just randomly. But
out of curiosity, how many ads do you think you'd actually check on Let Go or stuff like that?
When I go through Let Go, I'm only going for like I'll just look up Atari or NES, and then sometimes I'll get a little or maybe sometimes I'll look up like like the randomness like Coleco or I got a Commodore 64 monitor one time just by typing in Commodore, like random shit, Vectrex, I'll put that in every now and then.
Those are for sale in my area too for $200.
Yeah, those monitors are gold, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I don't resellers for me to pick one up. All right. What about you, Bill? Less garage sales or no garage sales? You do more Let Go, Kijiji, stuff like that, or even just eBaying for selling stuff?
Yeah. Once you're out of garage sale season, I find it extremely difficult to pay like anything more than garage sale prices. So. And the Kijiji and the Let Go is very frustrating for me. People are all dummies and jerk offs, so I don't want to put any effort into it. So I let that go. Haji can go for that. He can get all that stuff, unless something is like so tempting to go for. I got enough. Look at the boxes behind me. I got enough to deal with. So let's get rid of that stuff.
I have enough.
So that's your stock ready to. You've already listed. That's your listings back there ready to ship.
Yep.
I like that. That's very well organized. Yeah. I scramble way too much, man, and I shouldn't. A lot of times, sometimes I get super organized, and I do that, and I'll write on the box, not necessarily what it is, but like like shorthand that I can understand, or I won't tape it. But man, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's how you should do it. That's exactly how you should do it right there. That should have been your tip. I think I might have given that tip before, but that's the tip right there.
Thank you.
I think I said that a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
I said it, but I don't do it.
If an ad is up, it's boxed up and ready to go. So
unless some guy asks you to send it letter mail.
Well, and then another good thing about it is you're actually protecting whatever it looked like too, because now it's it's sealed. You
There's
don't
no
have to
chance
worry
of it
about
getting wrecked.
dust
Yeah.
or whatever, anything extra adding to it that will change its appearance so you can get some stupid PayPal notice or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. And are they as good of deals like garage sales? We basically said for Bill, no. For Chris,
No.
it's still always garage sales. For me, I don't buy it even if it's not at a garage sale. I mean, garage sales, I don't find that many deals. It's very rare that I find a really good deal at a garage sale anyway. Most times I'm going to garage sales, I find a game for a couple bucks, like freaking shit for my kids. Like I've got Disneyland Connect Adventures for they got $5 price tag. I think I got it for $3 or something like that. Buying something else. I don't usually buy stuff to resell at garage sales. I just don't find anything. Garage sales in my area are picked over. Way too many resellers, and they're all out there at friggin' 6 in the morning or earlier. I've got 2 kids and a wife, and we all go garage selling together. I'm not out of the house before 9. It's impossible.
That's what I find Kijijis like here. If I do see something and try to respond to it, they've already got like 15 respondents already.
Yeah, you're too slow, dude.
Yeah, because
You need to get on the RSS feeds. You need to do it
like
now.
you.
Now, do it.
That's cheating, man.
It's not cheating. It's the same thing.
That's
I'm
fishing with dynamite.
Digging through 400 ads and finding a good deal in a day.
There's no fun in it that way. There's no hunt. You're just
No, it's a hunt. It's still a hunt. I got to be checking in quick and early. Like as soon as I get a notification there's ads posted, I got to check it. There's 5 new ads right now, and I haven't checked it since we started this podcast. I could have got a copy of Red Dead Redemption unopened for $55 right now. For Xbox
I've been playing that. I like it. It's good.
$55 physical sealed copy unopened in my area.
well, I'd never pay that anyways.
Well, I wouldn't either, but if I wanted Red Dead, I would buy that. I considered it, but I'd rather have Spider-Man right now.
Oh, that's really good too. And they got the new
I gotta
DLC for it. Did you see the
buying DLC? No,
What's
not
what?
at all. No DLC.
Dude, it's like a whole nother game.
Oh, not buying DLC. I don't need another game. I just want to swing around in Spider-Man for like 20 minutes, and then I'll do it again in a couple days, and then I'll forget.
That's what I do. Yeah.
I'll sell the game to someone else for the same price I paid, or more.
Oh, I'll be keeping that forever. It's
that good.
It's a stress reliever.
I'll come back to it. It's fun. I love just randomly beating the shit out of people, and I like redoing those missions where like you go to like Kingpin's warehouse or those I forget the name of them now, but those other dudes with the mask or whatever, and you go into the warehouse and just start beating the fuck out of people.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, well, the DLC costs though, right?
Oh yeah, it's not free. It's
I thought it was going to be free. I thought that's it. They were saying DLC is going to be free when it comes out.
It wasn't I don't think it was 20. It was less than that. But I remember thinking I'm gonna have to buy a $20 card because I don't think they sell a $14 card or whatever it was.
Exactly. They do that on purpose too.
Oh sure, but whatever. I mean, you know what? I don't mind when the game's that good. I actually don't mind giving a little bit back to them because I'm not buying a fucking dog in Call of Duty or some shit. You know what I mean? Like you're actually giving me an expanded game is a little bit different than a fucking dance moves in fucking Fortnite or some shit. You know what I mean? Like that's something I don't.
I wouldn't buy that either. Because Fortnite's free to play.
There's
I don't need the
there's
dance
a big
moves.
fucking difference between them actually giving you more game, and it's not like they help.
But think about it. Fortnite is free to play.
Skin.
It's free. So you would think, I want to support them. It's free. You play it for free.
Free. No, it's not free. Not if you want to play. If you really want to play with your friends. No.
Yes,
I know kids on the bus. These fucking kids are in $200
because they're competition with each other. They all want to have the latest skin and the latest dance, but I don't need that.
And you want to level up. You want to be able to be on the same when the new packs come out, and you want to be able to be on the same shit as them. It's a scam. That's a big difference. So there's a huge different pricing model between that.
For sure, I agree.
Buying a fucking extra level.
The way that the Fortnite goes on is they give you something free, the game.
I get
you feel obligated to pay money because they gave you something free, and you're like, oh, I enjoy it. I put tons of time into it, as opposed to the whole bunch up front.
I don't think of it that way. I think of it as it's the crack dealer. They gave you the rock and the pipe for free, and now you need more, and you're coming back, and now say, oh yeah, no, we can't give you no more for free. We gave you the crack pipe. Now you got to buy more rocks.
That's when you're dealing with kids, I think, and those kids should not be.
No, but these kids are deep, man. I'm seeing them on the bus constantly. Yeah, that's all they want to do. They're playing on their phone. They go home. They're right on the Xbox or PlayStation 4, whatever, or their PC. I know this one guy convinced his mom to buy him a PC just so he could play Fortnite.
It's probably the same guy who gets his mom to get him training in how to play Fortnite. They're teaching classes on how to.
Like $1,000 or whatever.
Okay. And then Mrs. Q Dog said, or are you going to concentrate on getting all your stock sold so you will have storage available for next year's garage sale season? That's kind of Bill's plan there, right?
Yep.
All right. So our next question from @Narc Podcast. Bill, what kind of conditioner do you use in your hair?
No. No.
Condition.
Read it right.
What kind of condition do you use in your hair? Sorry, I don't use lame abbreviations. I don't call a barbecue a Q.
Do you listen to their show? Condition is one of their buzzwords, dude. I worked that in on purpose. I mean, I didn't. Somebody at the Narc podcast.
Somebody that tweets from the Narc podcast.
That purposely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe Condish. How'd you get your hair so Joe Condish?
Well, if you want to know, let me tell you. Only fresh roots and berries picked every morning and crushed in a mortar and pestle and rubbed in your hair, warmed by the sunlight.
Gummy berries?
No, actually, I use Dove men's shampoo and conditioner 2-in-1 because I ain't got time to do a separate rinse. But you get the one that's got it has caffeine in it, or there's one with tea tree oil, and you rub that in. And your head starts to tingle, and oh yeah, that's lovely sensation. That's when you know it's working, when your head starts tingling. Get that caffeine.
Heads tingle too.
Get that caffeine on your head.
Now, what does Joe use? Go ahead. Next question.
Speaking of Joe, next question from @BuriedOnMars. Where's Joe? I don't know if you can answer this or want to answer this, Bill, but where's Joe? There's no hashtag where's Joe, but
that's a good question.
Probably recording a video for my life in collecting Transformer beer.
I think you were right on the money on that. But he's very private, and he definitely fears anything he says here will be stolen from him and take away all of his mojo.
Maybe I should just message him directly and ask him.
He's already talked to you many times directly, according to him. So you two have quite conversations.
We've had a couple conversations, but it's been a while, I think, since we had any conversations. From my point of view, I don't know if he's having conversations with me that I'm not participating in. I'm not sure. But I am going to copy the link to the tweet from Kevin and send that now to Joe and see how long it takes him to answer. I mean, see what he says.
Mm-hmm. You just got to invite him, man. I'm sure he'd love to come on. But he definitely loves being asked and pestered.
I don't like having too many people on the podcast because I don't like listening to podcasts myself when there's too many voices to keep track of. Mm-hmm. I mean, our voices are all fairly different and stuff, but still. Yeah, so I like having it a 3-person. I find it more. Everybody gets a chance to talk.
Yeah,
when he's over talking.
Work him in sometime.
He's been on once. Everybody's only been on once except you, I think.
No, Eric.
I was gonna say, has Q Dog been on twice?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, because he mentioned he was gonna start selling on eBay, and then he hasn't.
I love how you have dossiers on all of us as well.
No, I would never have dossiers.
Oh yeah. You know what's happening.
So next question is from @RetroPixel. It's James, and he says, have you ever gambled on or considered buying known broken stuff in attempt to profit from selling off the individual parts? I think this question came from him after he helped me with my broken PS4. So myself, I've bought broken stuff knowing it's broken, intending to fix something of my own or something I want to sell, but I've always paid nothing for it for that. Like I bought a PS3 that was broken, intending to use the optical drive to fix another PS3 that was broken. That whole turned into a clusterfuck because the drive is paired to the motherboard, so that doesn't work unless you're just replacing the laser. But that aside, I think that's the closest I've come to doing that. Yeah. Or modded Xboxes I'll buy for parts, but I don't sell them off individually. I don't really part anything out individually unless it's like a bundle I buy and part out certain parts for certain things from it, but that's it. What about you, Chris? You ever buy broken things to sell off in parts?
Yeah, I've bought broken Wavebird controllers just to sell off the battery doors because I'm getting about $17 a door, which sounds ridiculous, but and I'm talking about them not actually coming with the receiver. Obviously, if the receiver comes, I'll sell the receiver separately. But I'm talking like broken sticks or whatever. But if they got the battery compartment door, I'll buy them as long as they're like a few dollars or less. You know.
What do you do with the ones that are missing the battery door then?
I don't buy them.
I thought you
what do I do with what's left?
With the remaining, yeah, what's left?
Oh, I just throw it in a box and then maybe one. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Give them away.
Give me them. I'll take them for parts, but it's not worth shipping. It's a problem.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know. Whatever. I'll hold on to it. Maybe it'll get to a point where it is worth. Board games, I'll buy them just to sell the parts if I know it's missing stuff. Because some board games, the parts are actually worth more than the whole game itself. And iPods, I'll buy them working or not. Obviously, I'll buy them for more if I know it's working. But I'll buy any iPod. I don't care if it's broken or not. A crack screen doesn't matter.
Because you can sell them off easily in lots.
Yep.
Gotcha. Bill, anything?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Let me think here. Well, definitely a big part of my marketplace is old remote controls. That's a part of something. And people are always looking for certain remote controls when they get an old component going or something, and they want the real deal. I had
that Yamaha remote you've got for sale right now. I had that exact same one with my Yamaha. Brought back memories.
And Guitar Hero drum kits, there's components out of that you can sell rather than buying the whole drum kit and trying to hassle with that whole thing. Just take certain components out of it, they sell. But my biggest successes were out of like an electronics recycling receptacle, like that at some people's workplaces have these electronic dump areas, and good stuff out of there. I got this camera once out of it, and this camera was destroyed. It was completely trashed. Looked like it'd been run over, but the lens was fine. But the body was like in multiple pieces hanging by wires or something. But you could tell it was a broadcast quality camera, a handy cam though. But it was broadcast quality. It was like would have been a $15,000 to $20,000 camera in the garbage. I grabbed that. I didn't know it'd be worth it or whatever, but I grabbed that, and then I went hunting around the next day around the other bins, and I managed to find its AC charger thing as well as some batteries. Put that all together, and that was one of the very few times I did an auction on eBay because I had no idea what potentially that could be worth. And it went crazy. It was just, I remember I was walking around with my daughter and actually in the thrift store, and my phone kept doing ka-ching, ka-ching, because it does that every time the highest bid comes
every
in.
time the bid, yep.
And she's like, "Dad, you're embarrassing me. Turn your phone off." I'm like, "I don't know what's going on." It's like ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. And I looked down, and at one point it was at like 250 or something. And then when it finally finished, I looked and it was well over 800. And this was something I just picked out of the garbage.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's well worth it to look around.
I would say another thing would be it kind of piggyback it, but buy plugs, any plug off of anything, especially if the plug's removable. And any backings of any. When I said Wavebird, I'll do it for anything that's got a backing, broken Game Boys, broken remotes. You take those backings off. They're not as going to be your $1 can, but you get steady sales out of them. Because I mean, think about it. You got a Game Boy, it doesn't have the back. What do you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good tip.
And the other thing too, because now they're putting out so many aftermarket ones, you think, well, that makes because now the prices will be going down. But I've seen the opposite effect. Now you just start slapping authentic and everything, and I've been able to actually get more than I was before. Like, a lot of people aren't liking all these repros that are hitting the market, and I don't either. But I've started to notice now that I'm able to even go a little higher on particular games like Mario Kart that I got. Like, prior to them really getting, I saw it trending down a little bit. It was peaking at 45 and it started trending down, and now there's all these repros, and they're listing under new other, and now I'm just gonna put it high and be like, hey, if you want that bullshit, go ahead, buy the fake one, or you can buy this real the price. So
It's true. Even those repops, they just can't match the color. They don't get it right.
nope.
I had to buy my black Wii originally was missing one of the doors. So I went to my video game store. Hey, you guys got the hatch there for, oh yeah, we got a whole thing full. They're reproductions, but they're exactly the same. No problem. Okay, I don't care as long as they look good. And I take it in, and it doesn't have that sheen. It's
Nope.
not the right black. I had to take it back, and they thought I was crazy trying to return it. I'm like, well, it's not even close. So,
Right.
what?
They're like,
Why?
well, it functions right?
Yeah,
Like,
what's
it
your
functions.
problem?
It's a difference, right?
Like, I'm kind of crazy about this stuff. If I don't have a door on something, it drives me nuts. And especially if it doesn't match, it drives me even more crazy. So yeah, I can see that, the authentic stuff going up.
Interesting. All right. Next question is from Musty Hobbit at Musty Hobbit. He says eBay now offers auction listings with make offer option. Is that new, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. He said thoughts on this from both the buyer and seller's perspective, and what suggestions do you have for approaching making a offer on these? That would be different than straight buy it now with offer listing.
Okay, well, where I'll go with that is, all right, so let's say you're doing your auction and they do this make offer thing. Typically, their make offer, it also has like a buy it now price attached to it. So it'll be an auction with a buy it now price and a make offer. So a strategy would be, okay, so all right, so now let's say they say 65 buy it now or offer. Well, okay, so now they're a little less confident. To me, it just takes away confidence. I think that makes them less, like, I think of it as like, well, now they're giving me an advantage. Because now I know they'll take less than 65, and they don't think it's going to sell for 65. So that's why they're giving you all these options. Now, another angle would be they're just trying to put it in multiple search engines, so they're not going to accept it, which that could be it too. But my strategy would be hit them with the price you're willing to pay and see what they say. That's what I did, and I got what I wanted. I just did it twice. The guy with the wish book and with the Halloween cart. Not quite the exact scenario, but both of them were trying to sell it for a certain price, and one was an auction. We didn't have the buy it now, or didn't have the make offer feature, but it still kind of goes in the same thing of kind of showing their cards a little bit. You know what I mean? So
can I go from the buyer's perspective then?
Yeah.
Or the seller's perspective, I should say. You just did the buyer's.
Yeah.
I don't do auctions, and I certainly don't have the make it offer active, because I learned early on all the dummies out there don't pay if they win an auction. And if you're a straight up set price seller and you have that make an offer active on your ad, and someone makes an offer to you and you accept it, they again don't have to pay immediately.
Right.
And you will get hosed because there's dummies out there that don't pay. They just don't.
Yeah.
The one time I accidentally had that make an offer activated on my ad, a guy made an offer, I accepted, he didn't pay. It's the very first time. It's like, there you go.
Here's the thing, though. I agree with you, and I really go away from any make offers. I just put it for the price I want, and then if it doesn't sell, I'll just start lowering it, and I'll go from there. But the times I have put a make an offer thing, it's when I know that I'm going well above the market. I'm putting it at $100 or best offer, and there's no reason it should sell for 100. But I'm letting you know I think this is valuable, but I'm willing to negotiate.
Sure.
And it does kind of gives you an advantage, because now you're asking well more than it is. They're coming in at their offer, which I'll also set it, because I'm not gonna fuck around and you like, I got it for 100 and you're offering me 20. That shit'll be instantly rejected. So I'll get them at a medium spot where it's like, okay, I'll start listening to you if you offer me 60, and then we'll go from there. But I have had a couple of guys who have not paid immediately, and I prefer immediate. But I'll send them that invoice immediately, and I'll let them know, hey, I want to get this shipped out. I need you to pay, and I'll give them a day, and I'll just try not to OCD on it and try to ignore it. And if they don't pay after that one day is gone, I will let them know. It's like, well, you have respectively or friendly, just a friendly reminder. But if you don't pay within this next 24 hours, I will cancel the sale, and I'll fucking cancel it and relist it, and I'll have no remorse.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can't stand that.
It sucks. It wastes some of your time, but I don't do that on very many items. I'm talking about the ones where I'm really shooting for the moon. If it's a cheap item, I'm not going to waste my time. You know what I mean? But for a big item, I'll give it a shot. I'll swing for the fence. I'm
open to the offers coming in email. I'm just not going to have that buy it now active. And then if
then you'll just set the price, correct?
If I accept their offer, I'll tell them, here's the deal. You watch out at this time. I'm going to change this ad to this time. You got first dibs on it. There you go.
Yeah, no, I like that strategy too. I'll do that same thing. I'll just say, hey, I'll set it at 50, but I'm going to do it here in a couple of minutes. Are you ready? And then I'll wait for them to say, yep. And I say, okay, I'm going to do it right now. So you better do it. And if not, someone else might buy it. And, I put it up there, and usually motivate a buyer, they usually are right on top of it, and
for sure.
And if
and you get your automatic payment immediate.
Yep. I'm all for the automatic, because you know what, I'm an automatic shipper, so I expect an automatic payment. I give you exactly what you want. I play ball. You pay me quick, because I accept, and I ship it quick. And I think that's what makes eBay work the best, and that's why I got great feedback. And if you go back and look through all my feedback, the common thread is fast shipping and accurate descriptions. If you got fast shipping and accurate descriptions, you shouldn't have many problems. You still will have some, but for the most part, it does alleviate a lot of problems.
So on my ads, I think I've said this before, but I don't do auction. I just did an experiment a couple months ago with auction, and I'm just like, it's because I'm selling to only Canada that I don't get enough people looking at my ads for an auction to be worth it. It doesn't sell. Like I had auctions on 2 Game Boy Advance games. One was like Mario Kart Advance, right? Common enough game, but it still sells for like $15. I did an auction on it starting at like $5, and I got no bids. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing auctions at all. I'm done. I never wanted to. I theorized that because I don't sell to the States, I don't get enough people, auctions aren't going to work. And then I kind of proved it to myself that way. Now, on that one, it was a bit weird because I did do calculated shipping instead of doing flat rate, where I put in $5 letter mail option. So I kind of screwed myself over on that experiment because I changed 2 things at one time. I made it an auction, but I also made calculated shipping, which automatically the minimum one is a parcel. There is no option for letter mail, cheap shipping with no tracking when you do calculated, as far as I've seen. Is that right, Bill? You haven't tried that?
I thought you could select both. Well, you can make it so the buyer can select whatever they want.
Letter mail is not an option for me when I choose calculated. Only regular parcel, expedited or expected or whatever the heck there is, and express post, I think, are the 3. Mm-hmm. Those are the only ones I have anyway. I do not have letter mail as an option when it's calculated. I don't know. Anyway, so on my ads with best offer, I mean, they're all buy it nows, but I've added best offer to anything that I find is not selling or is obscure. Like I've got some sealed original Xbox games, which I don't think there's that many people who want sealed techno classic arcade or beat down Fists of Vengeance for original Xbox. But like I've got them and I want to sell them. I don't really care how much they go for because if I sell one of them, I've made my money back, basically. I don't know.
I've only been burned when people can get away with not paying immediately. So
Yeah, I can see that. I've never had that problem yet with or maybe I have one time I had to cancel a buy it now, maybe. But that was the guy who bought from a country he shouldn't have been allowed to pay from with the Retro Fighters controller. I think you said, no, it wasn't you. It was, I can't remember. Someone else said that they had that guy buy from them too. Same thing. I'm pretty sure it was Sean P1, maybe. And that guy tried to buy from him as well and just didn't pay. But that's the only time I've had to cancel an order that was an offer. All right. Anyway.
See, yeah, I never did the cancel order thing too. I would go through the whole process of reporting a non-payment, and then that's 7 days for eBay to clear it, and then eBay clears the deal for you and all that. Because I want a strike on their account, these pricks.
Yeah,
so
that guy, I didn't do that because he was not from around here. Anyway, like he should never have been able to order it because he wasn't from a country that I shipped to.
Mm-hmm.
So he never should have been able to order it. So I think I canceled on that grounds, not because he didn't pay. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure. Yeah. Anyway, so next question is from Creeplead at Creep1337. That's Josh. And he says, what is the strangest / weirdest thing you've ever sold? He has other questions, but I'll wait. Chris, what's the weirdest thing you ever sold?
I was racking my brain trying to think of something really strange. I don't know. I know there's something stranger than this, but those little dictation machines.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to be worth the fucking thing, and the resale price on them were so high. I was really surprised. Like, I mean, the first one I sold for nearly $100. They've leveled out a little bit, but I still get 50 plus every time I come across them, and I've sold like 5 of them. So I wouldn't call that strange because I think he's thinking like, I don't know, a fucking dildo or something. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, but I did find that was odd.
All right. I'm trying to find in my list anything that's odd. I don't usually track things that aren't video game related, but technically the pair of Doc Martens boots, like hooker boots that my wife and I sold because she found them for, I can't remember, it was $7, I think, at a thrift store, and we sold them for $200. So that's kind of the weirdest thing we've ever sold, I think. I mean, if I ever sell this underwater or under counter water heater, inline water heater, that'd be a weird thing too in my book. But yeah, I don't know. I also sold some chargers, like MacBook chargers. My mother-in-law stumbled across at her work. They were just lying there, and she's like, "Are these any use to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I could sell those for you." Sold a Microsoft Surface pen, the touchscreen pen for Microsoft Surface tablet for her as well for $80. Like, that was a pretty good sale for something that she had stuck to her fridge because she was using it as a magnet. It has a built-in magnet to it, so it would stick on the side of the tablet. I'm like, "What's this pen here?" I'm touching the end. I'm like, "It's not even a pen. It's for touchscreens." And I looked at it. I'm like, "This is a Microsoft one. What do you have this on your fridge for?" She's like, "Oh, it was a pen, but it doesn't work, so I just use it as a magnet." Sold it for her for $80. Ridiculous. I think that's probably the weirdest I can think of.
What about you, Bill? You sell something weird?
I was trying to rack my brains too.
Yeah.
I
wish I
sold
would
a
have
belt
thought
buckle.
about this. Yeah.
Belt buckle's weird. That went to Tennessee. When I sold a Furby, I thought that was weird. Who would buy a Furby? And every time I sell a remote for like decent money, it's always like, who's buying this? Like, I would just get a universal remote.
Put these freaking things up.
No,
one of them I have sells for like $40 or $50 because it's a remote for a DVD recorder.
Yeah, if it's a weirdo component, someone's gonna need that remote.
This one thrift store in town has so many remotes sitting there, and they're decent prices, like $3-4 each. I should just go in and buy them all, but then Bill will be mad at me for competing.
Yes. And Joe will say, "See, I told you not to say anything.
Yeah.
See what these guys are doing?"
I sold an AGS 101 for $15 one time. I still regret that. The good DS or good Game Boy Advance SP. So his secondary question also, what was something you thought was worthless but is actually worth a decent amount? This is Chris's territory.
You know what, the thing I still, every time I tell somebody about, I think I'm crazy, but those micro cassette recorders, I mean, those fucking things, will sell them for $30 to $50 every single time if they're in good shape and working. And I would have never thought. I had some sitting in drawers. I think the biggest one that was the biggest surprise though to me was the Starbucks mugs. I wouldn't have thought they were that. I figured they were probably collectible, but I had looked up so many fucking coffee mugs at that point, and every now and then you'd run across one that was worth like $15, but then after you ship it, you're making like maybe $6-7. I went to a yard sale and there was like some really clean coffee items, like a little fucking brewer, espresso machine and shit, and there was a couple Starbucks items, and I picked. It was a very specific line that was like something of the cities or spirit of the cities or something like that. It has a name to it. So every city has, their own mug. Well, every city they released them in. And obviously some cities are going to be more common than others. Chicago, fucking LA, shit like that. But you get into the obscure cities, they're worth a lot. Like there's one in Norway that's worth like $3,000 and it's a completed sale. So I looked up this mug and it was like $50. I was like, what the fuck? And it was some oddball one. So I bought it and I sold, and it sold fast, and then I'm sitting there thinking, god damn, I got to get more of these. And then I remembered that I don't know, like 4 years earlier, as a gift, somebody gave me a Starbucks mug, and I remember their mom or whatever had went to Alaska and got one. It said Alaska on it and brought it back, and I got it, and I didn't give two fucks about it, and I stuck it in like the closet or whatever. And man, that shit came right back to me, and I'm like frantically looking like, where the hell did I put this goddamn mug? And I start looking around, I found it. Man, I sold that thing for like $150 and it sold fast. So that, considering how fast it sold, I was shocked. And then I went on this dry spell, like I couldn't come across them, and I went to this there's a pretty popular area called Pismo Beach that's near me, well, relatively within a couple hours. They have this huge yard sale once a year, they community wide, and I went there and I walked up into this lady's cell, and it was like she had a box of literal gold or money, and it was all Starbucks mugs. Her and her husband had traveled the country, and I was just like, how much do you want for these? She goes, I'll take $0.25 a piece or 50 cents a piece, something like that. And I didn't even haggle. Normally what if I buy them all? I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do this to this lady. Here, just take the money. I was just like, I think this is more than you asked. It was like $15 or whatever, and I just got the fuck out of there. And I made probably, I don't know, close to $1,000 on those. Like it was a lot. I killed on it. But anyway, so Starbucks mugs, micro cassette recorders, and whatever the hell the other thing is I said.
I got micro cassette recorders on my account. No one's buying.
Canadian problems. Hashtag Canada.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And you never see those Starbucks city branded ones here. The Sharks are aware of them here because I've heard them talk about it. They're gone.
City and you are here mugs. I see a couple on Kijiji. $25 each. Las Vegas, Toronto, Fort Lauderdale, Netherlands, Thailand, and a Canada one. Sorry, off topic, but I had to search.
Okay. Well, that's what we're all about, teaching. Searching.
Listening to Derek go on the internet.
Yeah. Gotta hear him clicking away and looking at it as Canadian porn and trying to act like it's Kijiji.
All right, one last question from
Hey, I didn't answer.
Oh, we didn't? What? Yes, but go ahead. Whatever.
Well, I guess I already did that. The camera.
Yeah,
the camera was less.
Oh.
But
something
it was,
you didn't expect, yeah.
Yeah. And anytime a remote sells, I'm still blown away that it's worth anything.
But you keep buying them and you keep selling them, so. Is that your bread and butter now? Is that what's selling the most or what?
No, not really. I've kind of slowed down on those. Yeah, I got a box full of remotes, so.
I got a box full of stuff to sell. All right. We got another question now from Ramble Rinse Repeat podcast. Sorry, Ramble Record Repeat podcast. R3 podcast is our at R3 underscore podcast, which is Hodge and Fraser's podcast. Fairly new. They just started, I think. I can't remember if it's weekly now or if it's monthly, but they had 2 episodes out anyway. And one of them, which is probably Fraser, because I think he mans the account, said, what moment started you down the path of the thrift store hunt? I don't know if that applies to garage sales too or not, but what about you, Chris? You've been doing it longest, I think. Even including swap meets and stuff. When did you start?
Swap meets, I would say that's a childhood thing. My dad used to take me to the swap meet when I was a kid, so I've always had kind of a love for the swap meet. Yard sales is just an extension of that. I don't know when exactly, but swap meets would have been my first love for hunting.
What about for selling? Specifically,
selling,
buying things to sell. Was that incidental spin-off?
Oh, when that kind of, yeah. Well, I was flipping shit in the 90s, but not necessarily yard sale items. I was like buying cars and selling them, and I don't know, buying pot and reselling it. Does that count?
No.
Oh, no. Anyways, whatever.
I wouldn't consider that found in the wild.
Well, it is. It's actually in the wild if you raid someone's garden. Anyway, but no, but I've been flipping stuff. So when I started eBay was probably, I think, eBay, as far as when I got serious about that, maybe 2010, 2011 as a seller.
All right, Bill, what about you? Thrift hunting or garage sale, or whatever you started with, really.
Yeah, I got no idea. It's not like my parents took me yard sailing or anything. I do remember having yard sales as a kid, and I liked being around that and selling my stuff, that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't really have an answer. It just kind of happened, I guess. I like the hunt of finding treasures and stuff, and then the selling just is kind of what you have to do once you start collecting. So because you can't keep collecting forever. But I always liked collecting, right? I had a rock collection I kept along the fence row growing up, that goes back a long ways, but the buying and the selling, that's only been recently. And as it's gotten easier, because I'm lazy, so I don't want to have to work at things. And now it seems pretty easy to do the eBay thing and to get the shipping going and the post office. It seems pretty streamlined.
Even taking pictures is so much easier than
Yeah,
it used
exactly.
to be. Yeah. All right. I was trying to find when it was that I actually started buying and selling paintball stuff, because that was kind of what inspired this. So my first Kijiji ads were back in 2010 for paintball stuff. So that must be around the time I started selling it. And I didn't realize, but I was actually selling that up until like 2014. So I did that for quite a while, where I was buying my own paintball gear on Kijiji and selling, my old stuff or whatever extras I had, and then fixing stuff and stuff like that. So that kind of was the Kijiji thing for me with buying and selling, which inspired the video game collecting to resell there as well. And then thrifting and garage selling, I don't know what really. I know that sometime around the time I started watching CJR and somebody else's videos is when I started trying garage sales seriously, because before that I always just looked at garage sales as like, knickknacks and stuff for my wife and her mom to go shop for. I never really thought that there would be things I would want. I guess I could have figured there could be tools and stuff, but that's less common.
That's sexist.
And then thrift stores, I also never really did thrift stores until my wife kind of talked me into going to thrift stores with her, and that I'd be like, hey, there's stuff here I actually like. And then when we got kids, of course, I would start looking at more toys and stuff too, to just get deals and stuff like that. So that all did that. I mean, our first kit was 2013, but I was already doing it before that. So, and then second question to it was, and has there been a moment that has made you want to stop?
It wasn't a huge blue wave, but it was
Bill, any time you've actually wanted to just stop it, stop buying, stop selling, stop collecting?
No, I don't think for a collector myself, I can say that I am not actively adding to my collection at this point. If I maybe have bought, I don't know, 200 video games this summer yard sailing, I've only kept maybe 8% of that. I'm not actively looking to add to my collection. Enough's enough. We just, the certain things I'll throw in there, but majority of it is just going into the cycle of going back out there. It's when things get really built up, or if you have a week without a sale and you're like, ugh, what is happening? Nothing. And you're getting, I have over 50 listings on eBay. So when things automatically relist, sometimes I get charged a listing fee, and those fees start to add up and you're like, what am I doing this for? But then things start selling again, and things are good. And then you get that eBay invoice and you go, what the heck? How have I made enough money to get charged this much? And then you sell something else and you go, oh, well, the wheels are still working. So, I don't know. I'm not ready to quit yet, but.
All right. Yeah, I think my thought on the hunting is different than you. I mean, it sounds like you're more motivated by the selling, right? Is that right? It sounds right to you?
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Okay. Because you built up enough a collection, that's why?
It is still the seduction of, you might find this long lost diamond that you can keep for yourself.
Yeah.
And the rest of it can go out. So I'm still thinking of myself at heart, but
yeah.
I'm resigned to the fact that I'm selling most of it.
Gotcha. And I would say I'm selling most of it too. I am that as well. But when I'm hunting for things for me. But if I see something to resell, then I start thinking of it from that point of view.
Right. You guys have really taught me to look at things on the shelf, not just, oh, that'd be cool for me. It's anything I can make $1 off of. And like, it's on the radar now. And that's from you guys, Dollar Dorks.
Yeah, and I wasn't even going to do this whole thing. I was D1 told me to do it. And then he's also the one who told me to get Chris on here.
And Bill, you taught me to get a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner to save time in the shower.
Perfect.
I've been doing
I mean,
it's
the give and take, dude.
There's 3-in-1 now.
No. We're not doing that, man. That's too much. No, I draw the line. I draw the line at the 2-in-1.
That's right. Yeah.
Different hairs, Derek.
My mother is a hairdresser, and she bought me 3-in-1. I think that.
Yeah, but does she use it?
No, hell no.
Exactly. That should be all you need to know right there.
All right, Chris, is there a moment where you stop?
No.
Nothing, never?
I'm going to do it. I mean,
even
if I hit the lottery.
With assholes and all that stuff doesn't make you want
I like to gamble. To me, it's just an extension of gambling. I like gambling, and I like hunting, and I like interacting with people. And I can't go to Vegas time, so this is another form of gambling. And this is a game I'm rigged in my favor, so.
It's true.
I always win. Even when I lose, I win. So, you know what I mean?
There's another T-shirt.
Okay. So our next section is suggested content. Anything you want to suggest to listeners, check out YouTube video, YouTube channel, podcast, game, movie, etc. Show. I'm pretty much guarantee Chris is going to say a TV show because that's what he said for the last 4 weeks. Or 4 months. Bill, you're first. Bill's first.
I'm first.
Yeah.
Well, you already used mine. I was going to say the R3 podcast of the record, rinse,
ramble, record, Ramble, Record, Repeat podcast.
Ramble, Record, Repeat podcast, found everywhere you can find podcasts, especially on iTunes. But since you use that up,
No, that can be your recommendation. I
I'm gonna
wasn't going to put a link in yet. Now I will.
now
You can have two. I don't care.
You'll have to do another link because I love talking up this guy who I watch his videos every time they come up.
Joe Rogan?
You know, that freaking Joe Rogan. I was on iTunes for some reason. He had like, out of the top 5 downloaded podcasts, he had like 4 out of 5.
Oh my God.
It's insane. Like, come on, guys.
I love the guests he has.
He's
on.
good.
I don't know if I can watch that.
Oh my God.
enough. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's a good way to kill time at work, man. I mean, I don't listen to every one of the podcast. It's all about the guest. But anyway,
like he has really good guests. Like,
I mean, when he gets astrophysicists on there or scientists on there, I'm all over that
Neil
shit.
deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
And...
for sure. He's probably my favorite guest. But anyway.
But then you have Joe Rogan trying to keep up, talking about the migration patterns of the Canadian wolf, and it's all bullshit.
Okay.
It's all bullshit. Anyway,
don't you want to know fucking coyotes' migration, or I mean, their mating habits? You don't want to know the mating habit of the American coyote?
Not from Joe Rogan.
Oh,
he's making it up.
Okay.
Anyways, I am going to promote this guy, Steve, 1989 MRE Info. I've talked about him before on STCPod. He gets old ration kits, military ration kits.
Yes.
And he taste tests them. He opens them up so you get to see everything that's in them, and then he will taste test them. And then he's sampled stuff from like the Boer War. He's sampled stuff like over 100 years old, like meat products.
Oh God!
And
how is he still alive?
I know.
How many times he had his stomach pumped?
I know. I should ask him on the show. I'd love to interview him. But anyways, he's.
Hey, you guys have some good interviews under your belt.
He does some cool stuff. And it's not just the food for me. It's like when you get to open up like those packs and see all the survival gear and the knives and the.
Yeah, I see a Vietnam leg holster survival kit. I'm going to put that on my watch later.
Yeah, when you get to see all the gear that came with the rations is really cool too. I like that. And he's totally respectful to all the stuff that comes in. He's very careful opening stuff and putting stuff back because he wants to still keep stuff for his collection. He is very aware that some of his stuff is like, one of only a few remaining examples left in the world. Like he's literally getting museum quality rations to open up and to document. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Steve 1989 MRE Info. He needs to get a new.
Yeah, that just rolls right off the tongue.
I think if you were just put in MRE in your search, I bet you he'll pop up first.
I tried finding a short link for his channel and I can't find one. There used to be an easy way to find it on eBay or on YouTube, but that's not possible anymore. And it's not just Steve of 1989 MRE Info. Yeah.
And he's got all of the adjectives ready for what a food tastes like. He's got so many different adjectives to describe his food. It's funny. And drives Joe crazy when he hears me watching it. So plus.
That's a bonus. That's the only reason you watch it. All right. So next is me. I'm going to suggest everybody check out Bad Obsession Motorsport on YouTube. They have a car they've been working on. They're basically they build rally cars, as far as I understand. And they're working on a car called Project Binky, which is a all-wheel drive Celica motor in an Austin Mini, like an old school Austin Mini, and they are building it from the scratch. And they are, what are you doing, Chris?
Yeah,
and
I do not approve of that.
I'm trying to get a decent screen. Well, we promote it. We used to do that on the NARC, but we were more professional. But we'd be like, look, tune in and you can hear us talk. Go ahead.
So
I was just checking out the new features. Don't worry, it's not going to be on a porn site.
All-wheel drive,
Eric.
old Austin Mini
Alright.
with newer stuff in it, and they're
Stuff like
custom
it.
building everything, like fabricating brackets that take 6 hours to make, like just ridiculous quality building of cars if you're interested in custom car stuff. Or just British humor, because they're hilarious too. They just put little jokes in everywhere. At the very end, they have like this bunny that growls like a lion, like just random stuff. The intro's like Project Binky now in color and with so and so playing Abraham Lincoln. Just it's funny. Editing's good, really good, and their work for building it's even better.
Did they have clients for these cars, or they just?
Oh, it's their own car. He's building it for himself, but I guess I'm pretty sure they have a full-time job building cars, rally cars, and this is just them doing it in their spare time. But they've been building this car for like a year and a half now. They made fun of themselves in the last episode, like when I pulled this, or it's been 2 years since I pulled this out of the car when we started this, something like that, and see if it still works, kind of thing. All right, you're next, Chris. What do you got?
Okay, one of them's the same. It's two different things. A YouTube channel, and it also has a podcast. It's called Dead. This guy, the podcast he does with his girlfriend.
Dead what?
Dead Meat. Like your dead meat, you know, anytime you compete with the local resellers, they see you coming type of thing. No, but the name of the channel is Dead Meat. The guy breaks down horror movies and he'll show like the kills in the movie. But he's very funny, very articulate, a lot of good humor in it. It's comedy based, but obviously it's with a horror theme. But they also have a podcast where him and his girlfriend, they'll do breakdowns. It's a little different. It's not about just the kills. They're just talking about horror movies. So it's kind of a combo there. But they're both Dead Meat podcast or Dead Meat YouTube channel. And then the TV show I'm watching, it's called Homecoming. It's on Amazon. It's got Julia Roberts in it. It's really good.
Yeah, I saw that came out.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I'm like, I don't know. That's what was on when I turned on the Skype earlier. That was that blasting shit. Yeah, it's really good.
Is it straight up drama, or is there some action to it?
No. It's all drama. But it has it feels like, I don't want to say X-File-ish, but there's definitely a mystery there that you're not let in on, and it feels like it's building towards this big climax. I feel it building anyways. It feels like there's going to be a big what the fuck moment at the end. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. The way it's built up. And I really like the cinematography on it. When you're in the past, you're full screen, but when you're in the present, it's like a half screen. And at first it feels a little disorienting, but you get used to it really quickly. And there's also some other weird shots that they use, like when they're focusing on characters, sometimes stuff on the sides are blurry. So I don't know. It's a very unique style. And even when the episode ends is another weird thing. It's just like, it'd be like if we ended the podcast and then we just stopped talking, but then, we're just kind of looking around and the camera stayed on us for an extra 40 seconds while the credits are rolling and we're not really doing anything. But it's kind of it's just interesting. Like one episode in particular ended, the guy was talking to somebody, they walked away or something, and then like they shut the door in his face, and then like he's like, oh, so then he's putting paperwork back in his briefcase, fastening it up, and then he starts to walk away. But it was like totally unnecessary, but yet they keep you going because now you're like, okay, something gonna happen while the credits are rolling. It's very smart on their behalf because it stops you from clicking, okay, let's get to the next episode, because you don't know if something's gonna happen. It's like a live credit. It's pretty cool. But that withstanding, the story is really good. It's I don't want to give it away. Just check it out. It's good.
It's based on a podcast is what I see too.
Yeah, it was a podcast about it. I think if I remember correctly, Julia Roberts heard it, liked it. She didn't realize that there were scripted podcasts. She thought all podcasts were like our podcast where we're just kind of talking and shit. It was based on a scripted podcast, and then they developed it and pitched it to Amazon, and now it's a series. So I don't know if it's a one-off series or if it's going to be a continuing series. I guess I'll find out when I get to the last episode. I think it's 10 episodes. It might be 12. I forgot.
IMDb had it as the year being like this year 2 and then nothing. So Like, there's
Right.
no end announced yet, is what I'm guessing.
Right,
based on
but
that.
I mean, you could tell they're putting some money into it because the actors are good, bunch of recognizable faces. One guy was on Nurse Jackie. I don't know if you ever watched that show. That's a pretty funny comedy. Another guy was in Boardwalk Empire. He's also been in a couple other shows since then. You might not know his name, but if you've seen those shows, you'll recognize his face right away. And of course, Julia Roberts and Sissy Spacek. I don't know. I forget. Is that how you say her name?
Sissy Spacek.
There you go.
Is there boobies?
I haven't seen any boobs.
The bill's out.
I mean, they might be coming. There was a sex scene, but it was very abbreviated. You didn't really. I don't think Julia Roberts is giving it up at this point. I don't think she's going titties now. And she's
not
pretty
desperate
much
yet.
the only main female character on the show. There's other female characters, but they're other than her mom, which is Sissy Spacek. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that fucking name right now, but
Why not?
anyway, check it out. It's good. Check it out. Dead
Alright.
Meat and Homecoming.
Cool. Links will be in the description. Okay. Well, we come to the end. Let's plug Bill. Check out Bill at STCPod on Twitter, and he is the co-host of the STCPod podcast. You can find that everywhere you can find your podcasts. It is the Cartridge Club 2017 Podcast of the Year, as voted by our members.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
yeah.
Way better than the previous year. Way better.
Thank you. Soon to be 2018's podcast of the year.
Well, you can't make claims
Oh.
like that.
We got a smear campaign coming, so just we're playing nice right now.
We talked about that while we were waiting for you to show up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
we're working on it.
All right, and Chris is at CWR2. That's the number 2 on Twitter and Instagram. And he is CWR74 on eBay. Right? I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to buy my shit.
Yeah, go
Fine.
buy his shit. I'm sure he'll give you a deal. Just make an offer through email. And
Totally
I'm-
disregard all the shady shit I was talking about, how I, try to get over. Forget all that. That was just an
Yeah.
act for the show.
forget using media
Yeah,
mail when it's
Really,
not media.
yeah, but no, forget all that. I'm just this is just content,
Someone
Someone's
do a
gotta come
return through PayPal.
up, right? I will fucking hunt you down. I will have your address. So,
All right, I'm Derek of Two Dorks on YouTube. If you're watching this through YouTube, great. If not, don't expect any content there anytime soon. We are all members of the Cartridge Club. That's cartridgeclub.org. That's basically started as a book club for gamers, but now it's more than that. It's a community of gamers, content creators, and collectors and friends. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Bill, for being our guest.
Thanks for having me.
And Chris for helping me out and co-hosting with me
oh,
because
for
he's the
being
pro.
the longest running guest. On
Yes,
the show.
recurring guest.
Yeah. The longest recurring guest. I set the record, man. I've been on 8 different shows. Something like that. I don't know. Whatever.
Toast it and
It's
post it, right?
Yep.
Cha-ching. Well, I need another drink before we start.
That's what she said.
All right. You got the football game on. You're good?
No game tonight, but
Oh,
hockey
yeah, that
will
was
be
yesterday. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, hockey will be starting
Oh,
soon.
hockey. So
But
you're, you're an honorary
it's-
Canadian then.
Sure. Well, but it's California hockey, so I don't
Yeah.
watch.
Do they have ice there?
I don't watch them shitty fucking Canadian teams. Come on.
Yeah, what happened with my game?
Bill, your phone.
Oh, so you got to put that in the record.
You're
Yeah,
one
and
of my
you're-
two favorite, one of the 2 favorite podcasts from podcasters from STC. You're one of my 2 favorites, man.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
mean?
that very much.
You guys are both awesome, dude. I like you both for different reasons.